It's a starting, it's the beginning of a good friendship. Abidjan Kokodi, Kofi Roland. Yes, sit down. I beg, come and sit down, Joe. Kofi Roland, Olivia Abba Valerie, Soro Adams, Yabo Joel, Kamara Akosi, Huto Anado, Savalogo Mohammed, Amadou Patrick, Kofi, Alphonse, Fofana Meshak, Koriki Christophe, Kanga Desire, Kamara Mama Dube, Tano Eke Benot Michael, Gagala Victory, Aka Adoni, Asi Caroline, Azopota Celestine, Toro something, Diallo. All these I think are from Abidjan. If there's any one of you here, please see me for an urgent discussion. Now we have a problem. I don't know who is supposed to start this session, but I have not been told. And we are supposed to start this session 30 minutes ago. And people are still. Gote Hassan.
I have to wait.
Go and sit down.
Okay, thank you.
It's more comfortable here. Okay, anyone from Abidjan, please. Are you from Abidjan? What is the name, sir? Oh, give me a hand. Chris Akoki here is a second level major dono.
Yeah.
And he's leading the team in District 9101 in Polio Plus Society. Clap, if you are a clap. Why I'm bringing him here is that we are designing a customized T-shirt with Niger Polo Pro Society in Greece, and I'm only giving it to those in the last Rotary year or this Rotary year that have contributed a minimum of $1,000 US. So I'll bring it tomorrow for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I know the first. Okay, any other person, any other victim? Any other victim for Polio Plus Society? Okay. I have a temporary acting assistant PA, Constance. We were told in the morning that we should involve Rotaractor. So can I send you? Get involved. Keep this for me. Any sergeant at arms that can assist us, call people running up and down outside to come in, please. Who is the timekeeper so that we can target him and blindfold him?
Yes, that's when, because they will come in, that is at the point. But treasurer called me, and I told him no. The treasurer called me, told him no. If you are moving in now, the operation you are leading to act like expenditure. What they actually doing. The other point was the record that total approval. Not moving from the books.
Come to this before this meeting. So we wanted to tell you
He's giving it, you know, his zone is about 550. When he's making requests for those reforms,
So we have,
know what?
okay, so we shouldn't just return it.
No, even this one, normally, he himself, he wouldn't have come up with this. He would have collected advance. Normally, you give them advance.
Yeah, we've given that plan.
You give them advance, whether it's 5 million or when you finish spending, you make the retirement. Or why you spend it before you can advance another one.
Because we now took it from this street, because this one did not come.
Okay.
So we were thinking whether we should return
Yes, when this one has come in, we should return it to this before.
it. Okay, so we will do that one. We do the 1.5 because the advance
just-
was from here. From
Yes,
the
no,
district.
just return it. That one is contra entry.
Okay,
It has no
alright.
problem. At the time you are your accounts, you are using the expenditure request, we affect the government account.
Okay.
The other money is not.
Okay, so turn it.
Yes. We
Yeah,
don't
so
need
that-
approval.
Turn it. I was just giving instructions because usually when I'm giving, I will copy everyone. So I now copy that we're going to do that. There was no,
There are some things, those who doesn't even need the general lesson. But a lot of people there are not following what you are doing. They are not there because at the end, when you are sharing peanuts, you give them small peanuts. If they are qualified, some of them may not even contribute, like the secretary. You will try to be loyal to.
Secretary doesn't contribute.
The secretary wants to be loyal with the so that you will also have his own money. So he won't contribute. DGN, DGE will not contribute so because they are waiting for their turn so that they will not be against
This
them.
one, they even contribute. They will be the ones to even bring up some issues. They contribute ideas that we.
No,
assist
they bring
us.
idea when it comes to argument or payment.
No, that one, they don't say anything.
Because they are waiting for their turn. That's the point I mean. That's a contribution. Because they are waiting for their turn. Yeah. So everybody will try to be here. By that time, it is you and the treasurer that will be there. That's how it is. Meanwhile, I cannot remove you. The next thing will get up. The next thing will get up. Because it means you want to see money.
He's the one that's doing it. Because he now- I wasn't even-
You cannot remove it.
Hello?
You cannot remove it. It doesn't have such power.
Hello? Oh, it works.
That's what did you do?
Yeah, the right thing you do when they finish, one, you can't write to the bank to even ask for balance in one side. The complex of you going to move them. When you finish that, you finally come back and make the evidence you will discuss. When he's getting angry, don't join him. And now you're going to finish getting angry. Do your writing and do your work. No, now your work. But that cannot boil egg. That cannot boil egg. Remember, this is what you were fighting against. My own money should be better.
Can I have your attention, please? We are in the session now, and we have to find a way to solve this problem. We are actually
I didn't hear what was going.
almost 45 minutes behind schedule.
Why?
This session is supposed to have started at 2 o'clock. But when Ijoma, Eric, and my good friend decided to serve a good lunch, we started to top it up with wine, and here we are. So good afternoon. May I humbly recognize our RI President, Gordon, and our fantastic, hardworking classmate of mine, Director Patrick. Anytime I mention Patrick, I have to recognize my other junior brother, Patrick Coleman. You are all welcome to this afternoon show. All protocols of past district governor, past RI directors, past president. I hope there are no past Rotarians here. And now, past Rotaractors elevated, you are welcome. This afternoon, we are asked that we treat membership. And membership is crucial to Rotary International. Without membership, there is no way we are going to have a vibrant Rotary Club, not to talk of a vibrant district. So membership, new, retention of old ones, thinking of how we can bring new ones are all part of the program. So if you authorize me so that we don't waste too much time when they come up here to start introducing themselves, I have a fantastic past district governors of repute in their own right that have blazed this region. As it is said, for diversity purposes, let's start with the young lady here. I say young lady, so don't take it for granted and try to be funny. You are not going to get far. Past district governor, you won. Stand up and take a bow. Stand up, stand up. Is your leg paining you? There was no beauty contest, but if it was, she won as the most beautiful lady of her time and the first female district governor in over 63 years in Ghana. You know how we are doing it. We never allowed the ladies to come. But what is interesting, and I like it because she's my friend, but she disgraced a lot of my other friends on the other side. I'm happy Pastoral Director, Uncle Sam is not here, and the other ones that don't like us. She actually smashed every record in the district that they ever had. She chartered 14 clubs. She chartered 7 Rotary clubs. As if that is not enough, don't take her for granted. She's a giver by hand, a giver in heart, and somebody who loves Rotary to the extent that she's a benefactor, a bequest society member, a multiple major donor, and above all, the first AKS in Ghana, a lady per excellence. Now, whatever you do, Rotary look at you and they see the data you generate for whatever assignment they give you. It isn't to say they never appoint me, I'm not here. She's now has a seat in the Rotary International Membership Development Interview. Take a bow. She doesn't like removing her glasses, so I can't force her, but if she feels like she can remove it. Next sitting there, looking very serious, as if she's going to give another $25,000 to the foundation. Smile, no, I'm talking about you, Ken. Pretend that you're happy. Will you like to stand up? That is Kenneth. They call him Kim Mogisha. If it was in Nigeria, it will be somebody selling tea somewhere. But that is, sorry, he's from District 9211. But when he was there, it was struck the other part of 9125. That is Uganda and Tanzania. He was a district governor 2017, 2018. Smashed every record. From the little I know, and I've been compiling records for over 10 years, he's the only past district governor out of Nigeria that beat the Nigerians in foundation giving during his year, as well as membership. No, you can clap, 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 clap. Let's encourage him. He is going to be the next victim in somewhere else, so it's better. He's currently a Rotary coordinator. Some of you don't know Rotary coordinator. They are principally in charge of membership. What? You don't know? Strategic planning. So give him another round of applause. And as the director said before, we are doing a lot of things. He's the chair, Rotary African Corporate Governance Network. RI Director Patrick has been preaching this, and I don't see a lot of us going to each country by country. And Anna Marie said we are going to sign some paper to encourage that. Good luck to her. And so she's doing that now. He too, he's a benefactor, a multiple major donor, bequest society major level and something. And above all, he has been nominated, endorsed, and accepted to be the next victim because he's going to represent this zone at the Rotary International Assembly. Is somebody clapping? Try whether you reach there. Thank you very much. We also have in our midst, see, this is the trouble with all this thing. I have somebody who is he doesn't want to tell us what he is, but he has the name Hassan. And I've asked him if by any chance, either his father or my father have veered somewhere else and had a child there. Coming from the Rotary Club of, can you stand up, please, so that we can see you properly? He doesn't like telling me who he is, but they popularly call him Dorothy or Dorot, not Dorothy of a lady, this one a man. Stand up. What's your problem? It's only ladies that are pressing this one thinking that we get a lot for money. And you are there trying to bring us down. Dorothy Gonnom, I pronounced it wrongly again, but the other name that he doesn't use is Hassan. And as usual, they spell it wrongly in French-given countries. He is a past district governor. He is the immediate past and polio now coordinator, Region 26. He is from the Rotary Club of Godina. This is Rotary Africa now. Wow. Some of the names we can't even pronounce. But Rotary Club of Abome, Galave, Benin, it's a giver to. You see that problem? All right, go ahead, help me. Hello, hello. Hold on. Where is he?
Très bien, merci beaucoup. Mon nom c'est Dorothée Gounon du Rotary Club d'Abomey Calavi au Bénin, du district 9103 qui est le tout nouveau depuis le début de cette année. Et donc, je suis un ancien coordonnateur en fini avec la polio. Je suis donateur majeur et je démarre cette année en tant que coordonnateur du Rotary pour 3 ans. Voilà. Merci.
Voilà. Merci. Is P.D. Jeff Afford in the hall supposed to join us here? Jeff? Jeff? You are not pregnant, are you? The way you are walking so slowly as if there is something. Raise your leg up, man. Jeff Afford is a past district governor from the Rotary Club. Where's your Rotary Club, sir? Something Central. Okay, so we're welcome. We'll start right away. We will start with my good friend, Ken Magesha. He's going to talk to us about the Rotary membership at a global glance zone 22 and the dynamics of our zone. Over to you, Ken.
Thank you very much. You know, when you're being introduced by a person like Hassan, at times you forget some of your names. Those of you who come from Nigeria, and most importantly, District 9110, when I was a Reaper, I was given a name by the Alaki of Egbaland. So he forgot my name of Omowale. Our Rotary International President and Director. It is always a disadvantage when you're invited to speak after lunch. Because before lunch, as people are leaving to have their meal, they go faster. But when they put on that additional weight of a meal they've had, coming back becomes a problem. But additionally, when they come back, some of them put on shades. not because it has become lighter, but because they expect a nap. This topic and this session is about membership, to which we attach great significance and importance, because membership still remains our #1 internal priority. But again, our new action plan reminds us about our 4 strategic priorities: increasing impact, expanding our reach, enhance participant engagement, and increasing our ability to adapt. In all these, we need strong membership in our organization, and we need to grow. Therefore, allow me, as we start a very important discussion, thank you, about our membership, using Rotary membership at a global glance and Zone 22 dynamic. We are in 221 nations all over the world globally, and we are divided into 34 zones. We have 520 districts, but we have Rotarians and Rotractors being a new membership type. Last Rotary year, ending July 1st, we had 1,153,000 Rotarians, 717. We had 164,416 members in 11,191 Rotract clubs. This one put us in a situation that indeed we are seeing growth, but along the way, we'll have challenges we've had over the last year. When we look at Rotarians, we can see the map of the Rotary world, where we had 26% of that total coming from North America, and that is Canada and above. Latin America consists of 8%, UK and Ireland, 3%, Europe, Africa, and Middle East, 25%, Asia with 36%, and Oceania with 2%, bringing that total with 36,860 Rotary clubs. Our 5-year growth as projected, and a membership retention, you can see that the existing members, and these are Rotarians who have been in Rotary for the past over 5 years, the retention rate was at 57%, and the new members joining our organization, retention was the same. Therefore, globally, the average age of Rotary was at 58%. As a zone, our average age is 45 years, including PDG Hassan. His age has come lower to that level, 45%. Female membership, globally we have 26% female in our organization, and out of that 29% are women presidents. 23% are Rotary coordinators, 29% are district governors. A very big round of applause to the ladies. You're moving, and we're moving in the right direction. And 24% are Rotary International Directors. Moving to new Rotary clubs, statistics chartered over the 5 years. The top 10 countries chartering the most Rotary clubs in the world between 2018 and 2023. India was the biggest with 1,469 new clubs. Brazil came in second with 279 clubs. The United States of America, 236. Korea Republic, 235. Nigeria, 229, so it tops the list in our zone. Bangladesh, 224. Pakistan, 173. Taiwan, 172. Philippines, 158. And Italy, 79. A very big congratulations to Nigeria for leading the way. Now, Zone 22 from July 1st, 2023, our combined membership is 63,722. And this one includes Rotarians and Retractors. Rotarians take the biggest share with 43,443 with 1,800 clubs. Retractors, 20,279 with 1,367 Rotary clubs. Our 5-year growth projection was at 6.5%. And when we talk about that retention as a district, existing members was lower than the new members. That 48% of them were the old members, and the new members stood at 54% as far as retention, those who came in and never left. I talked about our age distribution, and our average is between the age and the highest between 40 and 49. So you can see that the future of Rotary is in Africa. Creating hope in the world is in Africa. We are doing better than the global statistics that female Rotarians are 38%, 96% of the club with females. So the 4% we hope in the next future they will have women to have 100% when we're promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion. 37% are club presidents today, and 35% are assistant governors. A very big round of applause to our zone. It takes me to the Rotary districts in Africa. As you can see, we received our newest baby on board, and that is District 9104, which is Ghana, led by PDG Dave Osei, the one standing over there, and myself and Director Patrick were there to celebrate a new baby on board. We are looking forward in the near future from District 9110. There's a new formation of 2 districts, District 9111 and District 9112. And that has been Lagos and Ogun State. Another 2 districts we are going to bring on board in the near future are coming from District 9125, and which is Abuja, Jos State, and the Kaduna region. And these are going to be districts 9126 and districts 9127. So we believe in seeing growth and extending Rotary to more parts in this world, but growth is the most important. So we thank those who are champions of growth, and we believe we'll have more zones if we create more time in making sure that we bring more helping hands in our clubs, extension and retention. Allow me to share with you the current membership per district as of August 2023. District 9110 takes the lead with 144 clubs and 4,717 members, 37 members. District 912 comes in second with 147 clubs with 4,601 members. I come from Uganda, so District 9213, which is Uganda, has 119 members with 4,561 members. District 9141 with 138 clubs with 3,982 members. 9212 with 129 clubs, 2,882 members. Followed by 2451, 129 clubs, 2,882 members. Another district, which is Uganda and Tanzania, follows with 100 clubs, 2,768 members. 9101 comes in with 98 clubs, 2,226 members. 9101, I've finished. 9142 comes in with 94 clubs, 2,061 members. 9010 with 116 clubs, 1,807. 9220, 64 clubs, 83 clubs, 1,802 members. 9104 with 64 clubs, 1,795. There's a club which is being chartered, and there's another one which is following suit. So as a new district, I know these figures are going to change within the next 1 month. 9150 with 100 clubs, 1,686 members. Followed by 9210, where our director comes from with 672 clubs and 1,559 members. 9103, 60 clubs, 1,205 members. District 9370 with 80 clubs, 1,153 members. District 9400 with 64 clubs and 1,096 members. And lastly, District 9305 with 57 members and 1,066. This one puts us in a situation that we need to do more in sub-Saharan Africa, where I believe the economies are thriving in many countries, but we need, as Rotarians, to open our doors, bring innovation on board, and see how we can bring more clubs on board and more Rotarians in that part of sub-Saharan Africa.
Wind up.
Our Rotrax membership, I talked about it. They are telling me to wind up, and you remember Hassan quarreled very badly about winding up, and he's the chair and he's telling people to wind. And lastly, our passion from our director brings me to the final of a partnership we've signed this year to grow Rotary in Africa as we create hope in Africa by using innovation and partnerships. We have signed with the African Corporate Governance Network, bringing corporate governance boards all over Africa to have all their members join Rotary. It is indeed our honor that this brings us together with our district governor nominees, elects and sitting governors to promote this partnership, because we are looking at growing Rotary in Africa by bringing 10,000 Rotarians every year for the next 5 years. It is a very big and ambitious campaign, and we believe we are going to achieve. Amidst us this afternoon, we have the African Corporate Governance Network Operations Head, Victoria, if you can stand up for recognition.
Thank you very much. Can we give him a round of applause?
We don't know where Victoria is. She's around.
Clap for him now. He's done very well. He does good research. All the data corresponding to the data.
And we believe Africa will never be the same again. We thank you so much. And indeed, we are going to share the contacts from the African continent where we are going to network with the corporate governance boards across Africa. Thank you.
Okay, just Ken, for your information, you started 10 minutes to the hour, and we are now 6 to 7 minutes after the hour, and your grant is 15 minutes. So I'm not going outside the business. So it's our turn now to call on our beauty queen of the panel. You can smile if you want. It's not a crime. Yvonne, please take us through enhancing engagement by prioritizing the club experience that you have gone through and committing to diversity, equity, and inclusion. PDG Yvonne.
Thank you. Thank you, PDG. After listening to PDG Ken, I do believe what I'm to speak on, enhancing membership by prioritizing the club experience, is so apt, since we need to grow Rotary. As we all know, Rotary is an organization that is dedicated to making a positive impact in our communities and around the world. However, in order to achieve this goal, we need to have engaged members who are passionate about our mission. A recent survey published by Rotary International on membership satisfaction spelled out the aspects of club experience that mattered to most Rotarians. Meeting enjoyment and confidence in club leadership headed the list, followed closely by satisfaction with club service, satisfaction with finding new friends, and comfort with other club members. The findings thus confirm, and it's obvious, members with a higher satisfaction level are more likely to stay in Rotary. Perhaps less obvious, those satisfied members may also attract newer members to our clubs. Club experience, it seems, is directly linked to the reasons why people have considered terminating their Rotary Club membership. So how can we stop this trend and improve on our club experience for our members? There are some strategies out there, and many have been echoed by Rotarians all over the world and could be as effective for you as it has been for them. We need, firstly, to prioritize the club experience. This means creating an environment where Rotarians feel valued and supported, and where they have opportunities to connect with one another and with their communities. When was the last time any of you here checked up on a Rotarian that you have not seen for quite a while? If not in person, on the phone, or through a text message. Listen to what your club members want and make changes to meet those needs while staying true to Rotary's mission, vision, and values. We as Rotarians need to take the time to expand and understand individual members' needs and expectations and deliver on an experience that meets those needs. We must find new ways to include everyone in our leadership roles, our service projects, ensure members are actively involved in all we do at club level. Ensure again that members are actively engaged in service, making friends where appropriate on personal levels and professional levels. We must examine our practices, our culture, our image, and the membership experience we offer, and identify our strengths and address immediately any issues. Create a club culture that is welcoming and inclusive. Fourthly, encourage members to act as ambassadors of Rotary by sharing their experiences with others. We've always heard, and since we got here, from the public image coordinators and committees, tell that Rotary story. Improve the meeting experience through better and effective time management. As at here, sticking to our allotted times, better speakers, and more interesting opportunities for club members to learn. A club membership survey should be held, and this will point us in the right direction as to what our club members want. There are samples up at the Learning Center and at Rotary.org. Work suggested topics into your club meetings to give everybody the experience they expect. Most importantly, address conflicts immediately, especially between members, proactively and at once. Do not leave issues lingering and festering. In the end, delivering an exceptional club experience is the key to engaging and retaining members and attracting new members into our organization. It is also the key to creating great brand ambassadors for Rotary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PDG Wen. And that is a beautiful rendering and going straight to the points that we need to know for our clubs to make sure that we're enhancing and engaging ourselves in our performances to serve our environment,
2 minutes.
our society, and fellowship with ourselves. It's now time for me to call on my brother, Dorothy, PDG Dorothy, to please make his presentation on planning for an inclusive future. Dorothy.
Merci beaucoup. Je voudrais intervenir en français. Et donc, je demande aux participants de mettre leur casque. Je vais également parler lentement pour que la traduction soit correcte. Et donc, comme annoncé, mon intervention porte sur la planification inclusive, donc planifier pour une perspective inclusive. Mais avant cela, comme je l'avais annoncé dans ma présentation, je suis membre du tout nouveau district 9103 qui comporte le Bénin, le Togo et le Niger. Et c'est normal qu'on puisse se demander, mais comment ça se passe là? Et donc, je peux vous rassurer que les tendances sont bonnes. Nous avons ici également notre gouverneur de district 9103, Germain Tomega, et les futurs gouverneurs nommés gouverneurs élus. Et les perspectives de création de clubs sont bonnes pour que nous puissions remonter très rapidement l'effectif au niveau de ce nouveau district, comme nous l'avions fait déjà au niveau du district 9102 qui a été découpé. Et donc, revenant à la thématique que je voudrais développer, je commencerai d'abord par poser la question aux participants en salle. Combien de personnes parmi vous travaillent dans les commissions effectives de club ou commissions stratégiques de club ou commissions stratégiques de district? Combien parmi vous travaillent dans les commissions plan stratégique de club ou plan stratégique de district? Je vois une seule main, deuxième main, 3 et 4. Alors, c'est déjà un premier constat. Si vous ne planifiez pas, sachez que vous planifiez votre échec. Et donc, le Rotary, nous sommes champions en recrutement. Nous recrutons entre 120 000 et 200 000 Rotariens par an et nous en perdons autant. Mais est-ce qu'on s'est arrêté pour se poser la question? Qu'est-ce qui nous arrive là? Donc, on prend la photo et on continue. Or, dans le même temps, notre mouvement, le Rotary International, nous a proposé des outils, le guide de réflexion stratégique, que nous pouvons utiliser pour voir quels sont les problèmes, les causes qui sous-tendent la perte de l'effectif. Et donc, nous ne nous penchons pas sur ça. L'exemple est là, quand j'ai demandé, il n'y a pas beaucoup de mains. Et donc, il nous revient, au-delà de cette photo qu'on prend, nous perdons de l'effectif, il nous revient de planifier toute une série d'actions qui intègrent les causes des pertes d'effectifs, les causes de défaut de fidélisation, assorties d'un plan d'action et d'un suivi systématique. Et je pense qu'il est temps que nous puissions marquer une pause. Et quand on parle de plan stratégique, de réflexion stratégique, il est recommandé de les revisiter chaque année. Et les outils sont là. Et donc, j'estime que l'une des causes de cette situation qui nous arrive, où nous sommes des champions en recrutement, mais pas suffisamment champions en fidélisation, c'est cela. Il y a des outils qu'on nous a proposés, utilisons-les. En réalité, tout ce que nous disons, qu'il s'agisse de dons, d'actions, on sait que c'est porté par l'effectif. J'étais à l'atelier des commissions de district. J'ai travaillé hier, j'ai travaillé dans la commission membership, développement de l'effectif. Et il nous a été demandé de faire une représentation pour mettre en évidence le rôle des présidents de commission effective de district. Ce qui en est ressorti, c'est un arbre géant avec des racines, un tronc, un feuillage touffu. Notre rôle, c'est d'arroser les racines en utilisant les stratégies, donc notre plan stratégique, mais en utilisant les outils qu'on nous a proposés pour la fidélisation des membres, enquête de satisfaction qui doit être faite chaque année. Et à ce niveau, je m'arrête pour dire, mais le mot est facile, on parle d'enquête de satisfaction. Combien de présidents sont allés au-delà pour voir les questions qui sont posées, qu'on doit poser à chaque membre pour évaluer sa satisfaction? Est-ce qu'il est heureux d'être membre du club? Moi, j'ai fait l'exercice et j'estime que chaque année, on doit le faire. Il faut le faire au niveau de nos clubs pour comprendre que veulent nos membres, quelles sont leurs attentes, quels sont leurs centres d'intérêt. On a besoin de les écouter. Et donc, ces outils sont là, mais j'ai le sentiment que nous n'allons pas au-delà. Et donc, l'invite à ce niveau, c'est qu'au niveau des clubs, ces outils soient visités et qu'on passe à l'action. Il faut les utiliser. Il y a toute une stratégie qui est proposée pour les utiliser. L'enquête de satisfaction, ça se peut se faire au cours d'une réunion. L'enquête de satisfaction, ça peut se faire en ligne avec les outils Google. Et donc, cet outil-là, ça vient arroser la racine dont j'ai parlé, l'arbre dont j'ai parlé tout à l'heure. Et le tronc, c'est l'effectif du Rotary. On décline au niveau de nos clubs, au niveau de nos districts, mais également au niveau international. Mieux nous arrosons les racines à travers les stratégies et les outils qui nous ont proposés, mieux le tronc va grossir. Si le tronc grossit, nous aurons suffisamment d'impact à travers les priorités, les 4 priorités stratégiques du Rotary, comment nous impactons la portée, notre capacité d'adaptation, l'innovation. Ces outils sont là. Donc moi, mon analyse, quand on parle de planification stratégique inclusive, c'est déjà première chose, faire de la planification stratégique un outil de gestion de club. Nous n'en faisons pas assez. J'en ai eu la preuve parce qu'il n'y en a pas beaucoup qui travaillent dans les commissions stratégiques de club ni de district. Et donc, pour moi, c'est un premier élément. Quand nous avons fini de faire de la planification stratégique, il faut faire le suivi. Et ça aussi, nous ne le faisons pas assez. Quelles sont nos réalisations? Est-ce que nous arrivons à atteindre nos objectifs? Où en sommes-nous? Où sont les écarts? Comment les corriger? Et ça devrait être suivi tous les mois. Tous les mois. Pouvoir apporter des corrections et informer également nos membres sur comment est-ce que nous arrivons à réaliser nos objectifs planifiés sur le long terme. Mais au-delà de cette planification stratégique, qui est un outil de gestion de nos clubs qui devrait nous permettre de comprendre comment régler ce problème majeur d'effectifs que nous avons, nous devons également veiller à aligner nos plans stratégiques sur le plan stratégique du district et le plan stratégique du Rotary international, voire le plan stratégique de la zone 22. Vous avez certains, ceux qui étaient en commission, formation des présidents de commission de district, il y a eu une communication spéciale où on s'est projeté. Je vois PDG Anne-Marie dans la salle qui a fait une projection pour dire nous voulons atteindre 60 000 Rotariens dans la zone 22. Et l'objectif, c'est d'avoir 2 zones afin d'avoir un président, un directeur au bord tous les ans. Dans quelle mesure nous intégrons ça au niveau du district, au niveau du club? Les enjeux sont là. Parce que les clubs sont les chevilles ouvrières avec l'appui des districts. Et donc, je fais un lien. Il y a un lien entre le plan stratégique de notre club, mais le plan stratégique du district, mais les priorités stratégiques du Rotary international. Et donc, chers amis, parler de la planification pour une perspective inclusive, c'est utiliser les outils, le guide de réflexion stratégique qui nous est proposé, créer une commission réflexion stratégique dans nos clubs, dans nos districts, les faire fonctionner, faire du suivi, ça nous permet de dégager un plan d'action. Rien ne peut se faire dans l'improvisation. C'est un plan d'action adapté à la situation de chaque club. Et donc, voilà ce que je voudrais dire pour résumer un peu les quelques informations que j'ai pu réunir sur le site du Rotary pour présenter cette communication en ce qui concerne la planification pour une perspective inclusive qui devrait intégrer la DEI. C'est autant de choses. La jeune génération, parce qu'en réalité, la zone 22, ça pèse. Malgré les 43 000, nous pesons 4% à peu près. Or, nous avons du potentiel. Nous prenons nos pays, le pourcentage de Rotariens par rapport à la population totale, c'est faible. Les jeunes, c'est une forte potentialité, sont sous-utilisés, sous-exploités. Les femmes, nous voulons porter ça à 40%, si mes souvenirs sont bons, de l'effectif total. Et donc, les opportunités sont énormes, mais mettons en place une planification et plan d'action pour pouvoir les saisir et atteindre notre objectif de 60 000 Rotariens, sinon plus, dans les 3 ans à venir, afin d'avoir un directeur tous les ans au niveau de la zone 22. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. I think he deserves a better hand of applause. We keep on repeating it, but that is the issue. The zone, Africa has a strategic plan. And what we do, we need more members, strengthen, and the Vibrant Club is a member with not less than 20 members. Some of us, looking at the data here, have less than 10, quite a number have less than 20. We need to improve on that. We need more clubs. We will soon be getting Afro to tell us the various types of clubs. We need more districts so that in our own strategic plan, we are hoping that in the next 5 years, we shall have 2 zones in Africa. What that relates to is that every year we have an African on or in the board. So there's a lot of work to do. Like all of them have said, lots and lots of potential not utilized. Your district governor visit us, we give them field and field classification for the purposes of giving him something. Did we really do needs assessment to bring in classification that we need in our clubs? Do we, apart from fellowship, do we share others' businesses? Do we share others' professions? Do we assist actually to process? You will recollect that when membership started, the classification principle was so strict that you will not have more than one classification in the club. When they introduce additional active, the person holding that classification must agree. And we took membership to its highest height. So what is happening? We are stuck in 1.2. We have now added Rotaractors, Second year running, we are stuck on 1.4. But the things that I can add to this membership is that what was it that the earlier Rotarians did that we reach 1.2? Find out and keep it. On the other positive side, we're crying for 1 member, but in reality too, Africa has grown. But we need to do more, and we can do more. Can't we? Just go out there and invite somebody to join Rotary. Not any person. Somebody has a good job, a classification, he has discretional power in his type of job and co. My sister, who is an executive director, is sitting down here. We couldn't even gossip yesterday. She was busy working online. And we can't get Jide's son to join Rotary because he's working in 3 countries in 24 hours. And I tell him, if he burns himself out like me, he will reach one stage that the money you have done, everything you've worked for, you'll be down with one sickness or the other, fatigue. So what is it for? Go out there, invite people that you can fellowship, you can enjoy yourself, you can share your profession, your 6 other, you bring more money to the Rotary Foundation, you do fantastic projects, clubs should come together and make big and better, bolder projects. You network ourselves. The Rotary Friendship visit improves membership in the country of visiting Anko. So thank you very much. Brother Aful, very shaking your, wait, okay.
Thank
This
you very
guy
much.
is from Ghana, but we borrowed him to Nigeria a few times. And but we were afraid, we promised him that we would give him a title, but then he comes with 2 women. And we didn't know when he changed his air ticket and ran away from Bielsa. So Aful, what actually can we do as we are to make sure that we can reach out with Rotary through many more clubs? It's your turn. Watch your timing.
Thank you very much, Past District Governor Joshua. Good afternoon. VDG Ken has just presented the outlook for membership in the Rotary world, and in particular our zone, All Africa Zone 22. We currently have about 44,500 Rotarians in 18 districts, about 1,800 clubs, close to 40% female, and constituting about 4% of the RI membership. We have been nurturing the goal of forming or having 2 zones of 70,000 Rotarians in the short to medium term. Some of us strongly believe that we can quickly achieve this goal if districts in Africa commit to forming new clubs in the many areas and localities that have the potential of sustaining new Rotary clubs and by extension, Rotary clubs. I know extension efforts are yielding better outcomes in some districts in Africa, but permit me to use Ghana as a case study. A little over 10 years ago, Ghana had only 23 Rotary clubs with 850 Rotarians. Today, Ghana has 64 clubs with 1,800 Rotarians and a new district on its own since July 1, 2023. We have had a steady growth for 10 years. Thank you. We have had a steady growth for 10 years, and the reason is simple: the formation of new clubs. Let me quickly add that the other 2 legs of membership growth, recruitment and retention, are not offering the needed growth impact. Indeed, retention rate for older and newer Rotarians in my district is about 73%. The vehicle we've used in growing our membership in Ghana has been the Ghana Extension Committee that was formed in the Rotary year 2011-2012, when the RI board approved for the redistricting of the then District 9100, comprising 14 countries, into District 9101 and 9102. One of the membership growth strategies adopted by the then District Governor, Salifu Roima, I think I saw him in the morning, was to form country extension committees starting with Ghana. And with the guidance of some of our Rotary leaders, including past Rotary International Director Sam, who is here, we quickly formed 7 clubs before the new district, District 9102, commenced. The traditional role of the Ghana Extension Committee was to identify stronger clubs who had the capacity of forming new clubs, organize orientation for the identified sponsor clubs, agree on the location and names for the new clubs, select and recommend new club advisors to the district governor, and provide guidance, advice, and support to the club extension committees or teams, and also act as a link between the sponsor clubs and the district governor. This approach worked for 8 years. We formed about 35 clubs within the period. 15 clubs assisted in the extension efforts. But fellow Rotarians, they became fatigued and they refused to welcome proposals to form new clubs. Indeed, in the Rotary year 2019-2020, only 1 new club was formed in Ghana, the lowest in a long time. So a new approach had to be adopted. The Ghana Extension Committee became the sponsor of new clubs, using extension teams of about 5 Rotarians from different clubs, with a member on the Ghana Extension Committee coordinating. We've been able to form 12 new clubs using this arrangement, including the first English-speaking club in Niger. We have looked at various innovative ways of forming new clubs. We have formed a club modeled on Toastmasters, and that is complementary because there is also a Toastmasters club with only Rotarians. Our latest club was modeled on an old school association or alumni. And indeed, we are going to replicate that with other alumni associations. What have worked for us are that we have been very deliberate with our steps. Indeed, we have had developed key steps for club extension committees or teams. And so for every week, we even recommend topics that have to be treated. And we expect that a core of about 15 members is used to form to start a process. There are regular progress updates at the committee meetings on the new club formation. There is a thorough review of new club application documents, and I'm sure the turnaround time of 3 to 5 days attests to this. We ensure that in addition to the registration fees paid by the new club members, half-year dues are also paid so that they get into the mode of paying dues. We always encourage that a memorable charter presentation ceremony is done so that there will be publicity in the area that a new club has been formed, and for the new Rotarians to also know that they belong to a network of other Rotary clubs in the district and beyond. We encourage a charter project to be done in the week or preceding the charter presentation ceremony. We have a minimum of 2 years post-charter support by the sponsor club or extension teams with additional support by the assigned assistant governor. And the way forward, we are looking at using both approaches highlighted above to meet our optimistic goals over the next 3 years to sustain our new district. We are also going to champion the formation of new Rotary clubs in the locality of new Rotary clubs within a year of forming the new clubs. What we are saying is that new club formation is a must if you want to see a very appreciable membership growth in our district. And every measure we take has to be planned so that together we can meet our goal of having 2 Rotary zones in our all Africa continent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Afur. Great. All said and done, Dorothy told us that we need to have a strategic plan from the zone to the district to the club and plan how to follow it up. Now, Elvis and his group of people told us that Rotaract says we are not involving us then. Now the field is yours. Jide told us yesterday that one generation Z, Y0 something don't want to join us because we are old fashioned. We don't do three things at the same time. Good. That is a great opportunity. So why don't they form clubs? They can meet in the midnight through Turkey and India. No wahala. In fact, we have a very big challenge in District 9125. It is a group of Rotaractors in Oshogbo, Osun State, that have formed clubs. We tried two up north, it didn't work. So why they complain? Now the field is open. Whether you are elevated or downgraded or accepted and co, form new clubs with the people that you can put it in. Do your homework, have your bylaws and state there how and when you want to meet. The most important thing, one of the things I'm not talking about the president of Rotaract in Africa, one of the things they don't want to pay dues. Otherwise, all the complaint doesn't work. Form additional clubs of your own level. So what I want to do now is to open the floor for questions, for remarks, for sharing your experience of strengthening your club, enhancing participation, and forming new clubs, for the complaints you have about your clubs, why you are not growing, so that we can find a solution to it. If it's a medical solution, we have Dr. Motosho and Co and Jide here. We'll sort it out. If you have broken legs in your club and you want to fit physically, we have surgeon here. So forget it. Any one of you here, especially the youth, both in Rotary clubs and the Rotaractors, and the ladies. I'm afraid of ladies because when they take over, you're in trouble. It happened in my house. So these days I have to find a way, because when I go and come late and they discover I'm wearing a different perfume, my wife starts singing four-weighted song. I know it's directed at me. And that is the time I increase the volume of the television. But you see, it works both ways. So do it. If your wives want to turn their association into Rotary clubs, I told them that the rule says that for diversity, you can't have 100% male clubs, 100% female. But it's very easy to fit. The ladies come together, then they rob their house and in to be members. They pay dues. They may not attend meetings because they're afraid of what you will say. It is still a club. Abi? In 2 years, believe me, if we're serious, we can. And then those of you who accuse me for forming clubs that die, if they don't die, how are you going to learn and experience? Why do you think the African doctors are very, very powerful and very good? We try it on patients. If 2 die, you bury. Then you learn more. When you go to America, you are hot shot. Form 10 clubs. To me, if 5 die, good news. We will find out now why they died. And the one that succeed, we copy it. We form another 10 clubs. 5 will die again. But out of those die, they will go and find out that this thing is good. They will come back. So make it work. But before I throw this thing work, I'd like to appreciate the club. The figure that Reto sent to me at the end of August, I like these DGs if they're here to stand up. 2451, not Sada, but 2451. Oh, Salman is there. Stay there, don't sit down. It's exercise. 9141. People from 9141, stand up. Okay. The Tanzania, Uganda group and co, stand up. 9212, 9213, 9214, and you can add another 912. Stand up. These are the clubs that are showing green as of end of August that have increased membership. The rest of us are showing red. 2451 Salman Co brought in a net gain of 68 members as of end of August. 9141, 106. Where is this dancing district governor? He's only running about dancing. Okay. 9212, 141. 9213, 83. Then another one, 9214, 88. A total of a net gain of 701 as at the end of August. Can we give ourselves a hand of applause? This is not about awards. The best competition is yourself. Make sure that as you wake up today, you are better than what you did. And let me tell you honestly, if you don't know how painful some of we past district governor, when we see the new ones doing better, we say, we wish we can do that. You know, Dr. Man used to make a presentation about that. Then Yinka took over. I don't know what happened to him. We haven't seen him in our village yet. But you notice, you say, why are you in Rotary? Why should I even call you a leader? Leadership counts. So I thank you so much. And I hope that the strategic plan for Zone 22, which is Africa, has been made available to all the regional officers. They are supposed to take it to the district governors. The district governors, at least let us be aware of the main strategic plan we're working on. And let's work towards it and make sure we get it done. And the more we do, the better. So the floor now is open. Contribution, questions, and answers. If you do very well, we can go for tea break early. You know me, I'm very nice. If you don't temper me, you know, it is, okay, let's take a decision. Should the senior boys and senior girls talk first, or should the younger ones talk first? Yeah, what does that mean? We agree. We asked, he didn't raise up his hand, but I'm going to warn him to start doing some research in his handset. Past RI Director and Kursam. They are so past that we don't even know what to get them, but it's a gem. You are going to talk, sir. But before you talk, Yinka will talk. Any other past RI Director here? You see you are alive? You can count your past RI Director in one finger. Where are you going? Let's go and ramp all that, okay? So, great. Starting from the back. If you are a Ghanaian, stand up and talk. Is there a microphone there or you want to come here? Stop looking confused. Just go to the nearest where there's a microphone. This black thing shooting up, they call them microphones. And I thought I was the only one with pot belly. Okay.
Thank you, PDG. I'm trying to follow your mentorship. So elevated road tracks came with some good news and bad news. And I speak as a Rotarian and a district road track chair for District 9104. When we look at the population across the world, and we always say Africa has the youngest population, 18 years. That is very prime for road tracks. The other countries like Canada, US, Europe, it's around 42 years. Very prime for Rotary. So it's more likely Europe, North America can grow their membership through Rotary. But for us, as Africa, our bigger population is in 18 years. 18 years is school-going age. Something that we need to consider as Africa and to break down among road tractors are institutional-based clubs and community-based clubs. Those in schools up to 21 years are still being fed by their parents and sometimes on scholarship. And to even ask for $5 as RI dues is a difficult one for them. So as a zone, we may have to consider this peculiar situation to the highest level. The good news is that with the removal of the age limit of 35 years, has brought back Rotaract alumni. And so now Rotaract in Africa is attracting those who fell out between joining Rotary because they cannot afford $75, but can afford $8. So I want our strategies and our efforts to consider how do we bring Rotaract alumni back to grow our membership. They can pay the $8, but how do we consider for institutional-based clubs, nursing colleges, midwifery colleges, who are all course-based, can be course-based Rotaract clubs, teacher training colleges who can be course-based clubs, and they are all within 18 and 21 years, who are on allowances and cannot pay $5. How do we get them enrolled to Rotaract for sustainability? Thank you.
It was too late to invite you here as a panelist, but you did very well. That is what I like with Rotary, and that is what I hate with Rotary. We are good at talking, at analysis. See, 30 minutes, see what he has brought. Okay, talking it doesn't do it, doing it does it. What is your name, sir? Are you a Mesa too? Is your name Mesa? Okay. Who? In Kwame Okrumah. You have gotten the name that you have to prove it. I am taking your name down and I ask this young lady to take your picture. What you have said is very good. Go and implement it and let's share the experience, what he does. Secondly, he has made good suggestions. Go and see how you can implement it. Forget about this 18, the 38, all this noise they are making. This is Governor 98. Just getting to 50. I joined Rotary when I was 33. So what is all this noise they are making that too young you come? Those guys have more money than you talk. Have you seen the boxers they wear? I go to shop. I used to live that lifestyle of thinking that I have money. Have you seen this canvas they wear? What? My son told me that a Samsung that I bought for 200. He said, Daddy, this is old school. He wants a 600 and something thousand iPhone. Now, you know, I like girls. You know how much weaving costs? Some of them sitting down here, they buy a dress. The sewing is 3 times twice, or whatever. If you don't believe me, ask PDG Joma. But she pays her dues. She travels. She gives to the foundation. Only he doesn't donate to polio. Oh, give me 1,000. Sorry, madam. He does. I see some of you young people, you are dressing, they say it's casual dress. I know the cost. Then you come and tell me here that they have no money. You have no money for what? It's a question of priority. So while you are doing this, change their side to priority that it is their future. Those of Nigeria Medical Association, let the young ones that are training join. So engineers, let the young ones join. The women now are in businesses and co. There is a Rotaractor that was very good in assisting us in the club. And she eventually became a Rotarian and a Rotaractor. 2 people offered her a job, office paying job, one in the bank. You know what she says? She said, thank you. One tall, lanky girl like this. And you know what he's doing? She just uses Rotary for her business. He makes one type of drink. Rotary Club of Abuja, what is that type of drink she uses? And then, the hotel gave a rule that you can't bring food inside. We say, don't bring food. Then she took this trolley and put the thing inside and put papers on top, enter the hotel, he sells. She supplies businesses. She supplies parties. He said, Oga Joshua, what can I keep on a job? I make more money than this salary worker. And we have many of them. Fantastic engineer. They're into consultancy, like Jide and my son will confirm. They do 2-3 works. But when I talk to them, because they think I'm asking for my school fees I paid, the remittance, they tell you that the things are tough. They are tough going where? I walk into one nightclub, and once in a while, these ladies, you want to impress them. So we go there to eat fish and go. I saw somebody stood up with so much eager, turned his back and was going. And I saw the back. I said, this is Pinya, that's my son. So we have it. It's a question of making full of you. So thank you. And President, you better come and talk with this thing. Oh, this wahala too much. Any other person? I can see your hand, but cool it. Any other person on this road? Apart from the retractors, anyone in this row? Please, you never collect the phone number. Leave the young girl now. This thing, if they don't want to give you the phone number, leave them. Try another one. Oh, this one that you are not listening. Central row. Any person to suggest or ask questions? The panelists are here. Anyone here? Yes. 2 hands. Hands. 1 hand, 1 thumb, 2 thumbs. Please, the further away. That one behind Pastor Arabic, calm down, or you become a mental case. Talk now. Yes, 2 of you are there. Come here to talk. Find the nearest microphone and talk. Did you wake up from sleep? You know, when you wake up early morning and you're looking for the bathroom door, it can be difficult if you don't rest again. They are dancing up and down between.
Thank you, PDG. Okay, my comment really is on the issue of the member satisfaction survey. I believe that we're losing a lot of membership because we are not bothering to find out why members are leaving our clubs. So as a suggestion, why won't RI make it such that on a yearly basis, it becomes mandatory for clubs to have member satisfaction surveys, and maybe it becomes part of the requirements for one to be able to earn citation, because I really believe we are losing out on membership because we're not taking time, to be able to get that feedback from those who are either leaving clubs or those who are still in clubs but are not airing out any grievances they might have. Thank you.
Very good. One word that Rotary doesn't use is mandatory. Watch it. Go to the code of policies, go to MOP or anything. That word must. Mandatory is never used. 2, other than the standard Rotary Club's constitution, that the only thing you put there is your name and where you come from. Develop your club bylaws. Put your rules there. As far as what you are saying, it isn't contradictory, like the lawyers say, to establish constitution. Your own. So RI has recommended what you call club certification survey, right? You've forgotten that they are starting from North Pole to South Pole to India to Nigeria to everywhere, try to give you something that is standard you can weave on. That is my belief. So your club bylaws, change it. That is why we have district governors and regional officers. They go around, not they want to force you as police. They want to learn from you what new thing you are doing and your challenges to share it. And 2, to ensure that you are doing what Rotary International has recommended, so that we don't have a green clubs, red clubs, pan wine bar clubs, and co. So it is good. If you sharing that information with us, we shall all copy it, and according to some past RI vice president, copy it and paste shamelessly. If shamelessly is going to do, when you copy it, wear your sunshade glasses and copy and do anything. So you don't have any shame about it. No one will catch you. These are the realities. Your club, a Rotary Club, is the basics of the development of Rotary International. You have the power to put into your bylaws what will work for you. Before those satisfaction surveys were delivered, we were told that if somebody doesn't come to club meeting, find out. The man is sick in the hospital and you delisted his name. You remember that rule, they say if you don't come for meeting 4 times in a row, they delete. And of course, if you chase the same girlfriend with me and I'm the secretary, I'm watching her. In fact, if you do 3, I say you nearly do it, I'll delete you. So they change it. So you go within your environment. At one time, one district governor told me that I cannot form a club that meets on Sunday. It doesn't happen. I said, show me the page, we shall read it. That was now. So I formed clubs on Sunday. Because these tribal people, whether you are Igbo or Yoruba or Jukun, they normally meet on Sunday evening to drink their beer and think something. To me, it's a Rotary Club. They said no Rotary Club should meet on holiday. I said, who said it? RI recommends that if your meeting falls on the public holiday, you as a members of the committee and the board can decide not to meet because maybe it falls on the bad day and all that. But it didn't say must. They don't use that word must. It is your club. Now you can even meet in the moon. You can meet in the air. You can meet anywhere you want, as long as you pay your dues, attend a minimum of 2 meetings, whether it's bisexual or the meeting is by day or night, it doesn't matter. You can add it. That is the way. Now senior boys are here, and Salma, you have anything against me? Salma. We are making the phone call. Because I've had discussion similar to her and what Yinka is here. We had a big problem of putting a club in Nigeria because the Muslims say it is anti-Islam. So we went ahead and established a club that is all Muslims. We invited him as an advisor. We brought Kazim and co. Then they discovered that that is not the reason. They just scattered on their own and formed new club, which means the reason they were giving in the first place wasn't a relevant reason. Okay, you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, especially presenters. I just want to share something brief regarding a model that we've used in our part of the world, and that is what we termed the big 5 sources of attraction to Rotary. Looking at what applies to each individual Rotarian. 1, each one of us has a family. And if you can't attract members of your family, then that becomes difficult because these are your immediate associates. 2, your place of work. If you can't attract and you believe that Rotary is good and you can't package it in such a way that you can get your workmates, then that may be another matter. 3, old boys and girls, all of us went to school. These are people who believe in your sense of judgment and are most likely to appreciate your viewpoint. 4, we belong to faith. You go to church, you go to a mosque, you go to a temple. These are people close to you. Again, if you position yourself in an attractive manner, they're likely to have a buy-in. And 5, the neighborhood. We all stay in neighborhoods. And if you can't be good to your neighbor to such an extent that they admire what you do and how do you do it in Rotary, again, that may be something to look at. So those are the big 5, and they do apply to each and every individual Rotarian. At best, you can attract 5, 1 from each, and the worst case scenario, at least you can be able to get 1 out of the 5. It has worked, and it can work, and you can give it a try. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. And I just want to address myself only to two issues, but which I think are very fundamental. One of my and of many people's objections you try to attract Rotary is they believe Rotary is an elitist thing which is foreign to Africa. But all we are talking about is a concept which is very domestic to Africa. I actually recommend if we can dissect and the concept of Ubuntu into Rotary, so that Africans can own Rotary, they feel they own it. PDG can tell you in Uganda, we have what you call Burunjibwansi. In Rwanda, you have Burunjibwansi. Burunjibwansi is when the chief blows a horn and you don't have to be forced to come to do something for the good of the community. In Rwanda, it's called Umuganda. I don't know what's called in Zambia, but I believe each and African community has that concept. And if we define ourselves and probably give it as our local name, like we have the British or the European and African name, they can always be our local names, local name of Rotary in each and every community. And by so doing, we'll attract so many goodwill members from the club who will see Rotary is actually an original idea of Africa, something like that. The next paramount one, which if we get it right is a winner, is the youth leaders, what they are trying to address here. The question and what we have talked about, the demographics, which are not complying with what we are seeing in Rotary. Here, I will not go into the four things, but yesterday in our trip, I gave a triangle which motivated the gentleman from Ghana that I actually stole his ideas, which he had not yet written, and that Rotarians at 1.2 or 1.1, and Rotaractors are the figures we saw, it's totally an inverted pyramid, which cannot stand. Now, we need a real pyramid, which now, what do we do, for example, at our club? My club is Rotary Club of Kampala, is District 921. And what did we do? We did, it was one of the clubs which had one of the oldest members. PDG can tell you when he found us dancing at 3 and said, is this the old club I used to know? Now, we have put the young people in charge. The time we said you will not be a member of the committee or the leadership of the club if you are above 40. We wrote it, and what not alienate the old ones. We said you will be mentoring these people into leadership as they mentor new ones. We have put Rotaractors. Each committee of our club must have a Rotaractor, so they don't feel intimidated. They know what goes on in Rotary before they even join it. We have made mentorship, internship. There is no Rotaractor that will go without internship. And relevant internship, you'll not find an engineer doing sweeping work. They will do engineering under an engineer's firm. So they are being mentored in both worlds. So which actually eases the financing part. They are always able and easier to pay the Rotary dues. If you found a club that we used to be, it has totally changed and it has given birth. We have 3 Rotaract clubs, 2 IBCs, institutional-based clubs, and 1 community-based club. Being a bridge which is closer to being Rotarians, it makes them feel much closer to the CBC, and then later easier to join Rotary. Now it has reduced the attrition rate. And now we have put them in charge of them mentoring the interactors. We said we are not going to mentor interactors. Rotaractors must mentor interactors because they are closer to them and they have the time and we can support them. Why? And the result was that they also got to respect us more, because the same challenges they are saying Rotarians are not respecting Rotaractors, they have actually faced them on themselves with interactors. And actually now they listen to us more, knowing that that is a natural generation difference that is not about to go away. It was there since creation of man, and it's not about to go away. But once you work together and you see how they are doing, and you are guiding them into leadership and putting them close to you, not only training and you go away, but mentorship, internship, and apprenticeship, both ways, professional and in Rotary. Thank you very much. And that one has worked. I can give testimony to it. I'm Daniel, PP Daniel Babonerire, Rotary Club of Kampala East, District 9213, Uganda.
$100 for advertising yourself. $100 for advertising yourself.
You are giving it to me, or Rotary, advertising Rotary? I think that's not chargeable. Thank you.
What I've discovered here is one of the things I've discovered: communication and hidden information.
Only one thing I've not said.
No, you have said it.
Just one thing.
$100. Communication at the regional level, yes. Can you clap for this lady, please? Somebody enjoyed the lunch and left this bag. There is a claim fee for it, so be ready. Communication. The few suggestions here, how come it's only with the person, not even in the club or district? We have Rotary coordinators. They are in charge of membership and strategy planning, right? In the 3 regions. One region is predominantly French speaking. Then there is English South, English West Africa, and North. Under them, they have in almost every vibrant district an assistant Rotary coordinator. If you think that your DG is not forthcoming to listen to you, try all these suggestions, like you, my friend, in your club, and send it to these big guys. And these big guys, they annoy me. There is a WhatsApp page for this institute. All you see there, I'm arriving, we are flexing here, this bar is opening, hello, we are with Lions, hey, how are you? Will we meet here? What kind of crap is that? One single information that we are doing here, that's since Tuesday, you will expect that people who are, including my chief trainer, Anna Marie, post something. Like what you have said, post it. Guidelines or recommendation, it has worked in this place. If you need further information, inbox me. You, Kwame, have you gone out? Where is the Kwame guy? Write it. You are coming to talk. You are the chief instructor, by the way. You get it. Talk. Feel all this. Okay, once in a while, fellowship, a bad day, it's okay. But where is the information that brought us here? Put it on that. It's the widest place. And they were worrying me. Use social media. Use that. I've not seen any Facebook telling us that we learn this, and that. All you see is picture with the RI president, picture with the president and his wife. PTG, everybody is looking for appointment. Everybody is trying to be relevant. And they don't even give it. In fact, most of the people that came here for picture haven't given one kobo to foundation. If you doubt, I have my computer here. Bring your name and district. No, I have access. Let me disgrace a few people. But that is not to say you can give. This is my sister. First time I met her was in, is it Casablanca or Meriblanca or something? Very nice lady, very hardworking. She's actually officially the chief trainer for this place. We would like her. She was the one that put the, she is the one that put the Zone 22 strategic plan together and approved by the director. And all the regional officers are input. And when they send my own to me, I say, if I put anything, Ijoma is going to change it anyway. She has better idea. So I didn't bother. And he proved right. It's your turn. And do you know what? Give her a round of applause. She's a major donor. You know why I'm saying that? I went to South Africa 3 times in the past year, convincing these people to give to Rotary Foundation. It's like convincing Auka people to pay to the foundation. Their hand tight, maybe small. But when I start seeing her like this, I thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Joshua. I just wanted to say that you've seen the last 3 districts on that chart of membership, and they come from my beautiful country, South Africa, all 3 of them. And it's very painful to stand here and to tell you that we are battling and we need to do something drastically. And at the stage, I was number 3 from the bottom, and I don't know what happened to the district governors after me, but now we're number 2 from the bottom, which doesn't sort of yield well. But I want to say to you, we have to embrace one another from the continent and learn from one another. And I want to say, on the 9th of September, we are signing for the first time a historic moment for Africa. We are signing ICC agreements and protocol agreements, continent-wide, 18 districts by 18 districts, 54 countries by 54 countries, here on this stage after the Institute. And what will that yield? Not only about global grants, but we will learn from one another. We will share best practices. We will have friendship exchanges. We will have people coming to our countries. And us as South Africa will touch the hearts and the souls of the diaspora in our country. I tell you, there are millions of people that are there that will put the South Africans to shame if we start new clubs in our districts and our regions that actually have our brothers and sisters from Africa that has a home in our country forming new clubs. And why not? And therefore, I want to say, not only recognize the ICC that will sign country to country, and you know, ICC is inter-country committees. So we will have relationships Africa to Africa, but we will actually work closer together. And therefore, I will know who the Ghanaians are in my country and who are the Uganda members and who are around the corner from Nigeria. And I will be able to reach them via yourselves as well. And we will be stronger together. Yes, it's Yinka. I tell you, when I stepped into the role as governor, the very first WhatsApp the morning when I woke up was to me saying, have you seen your statistics? And we were the COVID babies. And I shocked myself out of the bed and I said, I will never be last ever again. And we ended that year 7 from the top of giving as the district and 3rd from the top, from the bottom of membership growth. We can do it, and we can absolutely implement the best practices that was shared today. And I want to say thank you as a past governor. And I want to also say, yes, we have the strategic plan for Zone 22. Very true. And those are going to reach you very soon because everybody has agreed that we will be 60,000 members within the next 3 years.
Great.
So thank you very much.
Can you give her another round of applause? President, Rotaract Africa, or any active Rotarian, you want to talk or you are shy? So that let's put on record that you are given opportunity, you don't give, you want to complain behind the scene to RI director. Hey, what are you clapping for? She hasn't said anything yet now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, PDG Joshua Azan. It's been a wonderful section having you here since morning, and we all know you are doing a great job. Thanks for that. Okay, distinguished Rotarian, my name is Constance Jayola from the Rotaract Club of Ikoyi, District 9110, here, there in Nigeria, not here. So I'm currently the president of Rotaract Africa Multi-District Information Organization. So It's a newly formed MDIO, and the pioneer of the MDIO is here, my predecessor. Kennedy Gaya, please stand up for recognition. So that's why he's there cheering me up to give me moral support. So regarding Rotract membership, yeah, I can boldly say that we were initially doing well, not until the Elevate Rotract status became in action this current Rotary, and institutional-based club had to pay $5 and community-based club had to pay $8. And of course, you know, it is per capita. So Rotract Club had to start deleting members. And before you know, our membership strength dropped down. However, we're not relenting in getting more members, doing a great job. We've been having, recently we had a Rotract Africa membership strategy to know what we need to do to improve our membership strength. So however, we've been doing a great job to get members, ensuring that Rotractors that leave institution are not floating. Floating simply means that when they leave Rotract Club in their institution, they tend to tell you, oh, I don't have a Rotract Club around me. I cannot belong to any Rotract Club. Now we have the E-Club, and the E-Clubs too are doing well. If you cannot join any Rotract Club in the community, based on maybe your location or your classification and what you do, then we recommend E-Club for you. You can join and still be contributing your quota to the community. In the month of November, we'll be having the Rotract Africa Summit, where all Africa Rotractors will be coming to Nigeria. As the convener, I'm using this opportunity to tell distinguished Rotarians here, kindly support your Rotractors to be part and parcel of the event. It's going to be holding at Lekki, Lagos, Nigeria. It's a good area that every one of you will love to be, and you all are highly invited. The truth is, the financial cost of it, we all know the economy and everything is not friendly. Okay, sir.
You guys want to go and do yourself. You want us to support you.
No, we are going to have a membership seminar. In fact, as part of our activity for the day, we'll be having a polio vaccination within the community. And I have said that I'm going to call on PDG Joshua to ensure that Mr. Benga Olaiwole is being there to support us and motivate us and tell us what we need to do regarding polio vaccination. We all know that we're trying to ensure that polio leave Africa at large, but then we know that without your support too. Okay, so all in all, during that moment, so we shall be talking about membership and how to increase our membership strength. So it's a great honor that you called me out to speak in front of Rotarians. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Don't mind them. The Nigerian National Polio Plus Committee, under my leadership and some of that, we sat down and we say, we are going to elevate Rotaractors. We put money aside. We say any district in Nigeria as Rotaractors that want to come out to be trained and participate, we will spend that money. Only District 9141 took that. Even Lagos that is sitting down, they say we should give them the money. They don't know that I'm was Nigeria. I know they spend money. Bring the program. We shall spend the money directly on the program, give the money to the vendors. They don't. Now you are talking, we hear you. Go and increase your membership. Rotaract is a new type of membership. You must pay dues. You know, like free thing too much. It has stopped. $8 is nothing. How much was the bottle of wine we bought yesterday at the listing? No, serious. 70. How much is that in dollars? 35. 35 times 950. And the Rotaractors were dragging the bottles with me. Ask them now. What I'm saying is that they have the capacity, but they are used to this lay down life, and they don't want to wake up. But if you say you are going to sponsor, and in Nigeria, if you sponsor too much, it doesn't work because they will lay down. Well done anyway. Sorry for trying to embarrass you, but I like embarrassing ladies who smile.
Okay, sir, I want
No, you will not. You don't even contribute to foundation. Any case, can we give a hand of applause to the Ugandan and the Kenyan Rotaractors? Records available to me, this country have the highest rate of retention and growth of Rotaractors in the whole continent. They are doing well in their presentation, in their projects, and on all that. We really appreciate it. We're trying to round up so that they don't go me. So let me come to my elders and ask them to bless us with their own suggestion and recommendation. Pastor IVP, you first before Uncle Sam. I would like you actually to come out so that I can see your face. That's why I came personally. This is the Yinka I normally talk about. There is another version of Yinka anyway.
Well, thank you very much, Joshua. And I want to thank you for the work you are doing. I'm sure if we were to list the number of clubs Rotarians have actually spearheaded creating, Joshua will be leading. Something good about today is that most of the people that have spoken have not been theoretical. These are people who have worked and delivered results. You see, leadership is critical. Nothing grows, and I mean nothing. Nothing on this planet grows if nobody works on it. Not business, not even children. If you have children whose parents and community don't work on, they will be stunted. Nothing grows. I throw you the challenge. Go and check everywhere Rotary is growing on this continent. Leaders are up, working very hard. And I mean very, very hard. Look at the story you had from Ghana. A man that is about 92 this year led the growth of Ghana. He didn't go to retire like many of you who are here as PDGs, as past dead and gone. Look at the story you hear from Kenya and Uganda. It's because leaders are working hard on it. You were working hard. Please don't stop. Tunisia was on record at a point as the fastest growing French Rotary territory in the world. Every other French territory in the world was going down. It's because leaders worked on it. Where you are not growing is because leaders are talking and not working. I want to encourage you, copy shamelessly. There is no copyright as far as Rotary is concerned. If it is working in Ghana, try it. Let it be on record that you tried and it failed. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to try. A governor, I think, where's Sanogo? I don't know if he's in the room. From 9101. That's Sanogo. Stand up. Sanogo, that's him. That's him, Sanogo. He has committed. He said, this is what I will do. And these are the things I will do. That is what you want to hear from governors that want things to happen. Not those that just said, we've been asked to grow. We will see what we can do. And look at Rotary coordinators. When you have a coordinator from a club that is dying, or an assistant from a club that is dying, and his job is supposed to be to grow clubs, what do you expect? So let's be careful about all this. My final message. I asked membership chairs from our districts at random across the continent, at random. I just put the usual phone calls. And I said, what's your growth plan for this year for Rotary? And they will give me numbers. And I said, what's your growth plan for Rotaract? And it's like, I've not thought about it. You've not thought about it? A membership type? And your membership chair? We are counting the numbers. If you can't grow Rotary, grow Rotaract. Membership chairs are in the room. I don't know what to discuss at your training, but that is part of your job. Will it be easy? It is never, never easy. But work on it. Many ideas have come out here that are brilliant. Copy it shamelessly. Shamelessly, if it's working somewhere else. I want to congratulate those that are growing. And Marie, I am happy you are talking about this. Success is good. Our agreement was that we need to stop the decline in the South. And it was under our leadership for the very first time in more than 15 years. There was no decline in our district. And that is what we want. It did not happen by accident. It's because she worked hard at it. So I encourage you, please work hard. Finally, don't wait to be asked. If you are in this room and you have influence, you have reach anywhere, whether it is where you live, where you come from. I mean, you may be an Egyptian, but you live in Morocco. Don't wait to be asked. Don't wait for a governor. People don't wait for a club president. If you know you have a means to help put people together who support the ideals of Rotary, go ahead and do it. Let somebody stop you at the end. And I can tell you, nobody will stop you. Thank you, Joshua.
Can we give him a hand of applause? The key word and the data have found out that every country of the continent has a senior Rotary leader here. From Salihu, okay? 91 what? You can always get somebody. Like we said, there is no rule that you want to do Rotary, you want to do fellowship, you want to pay to foundation, you want to raise new members, you want to do club, that DG or a president will approve it. Put your act together and go. There was a club that one of my DG said he won't sign. I said, we'll go see. I just blackmailed him. Instead of giving him to sign, I copy everybody in Zurich and put him in copy. I say, this one is for charter. It is Zurich now say that DG hasn't signed. I say, I'm not DG. Send the mail to him. He will sign. Case closed. When I want to charter clubs, they will say, no, I will. When I want to pay foundation, they say, no, I will. When they want to say, I will. At the end of the day, we go to the judgment throne of MOP, Code of Policies. Anything you want to argue with me, I am not new Generation Z. I want it in black and white. Open it, let me see. So all of us here, let's get out from here and do something positive. Share it with the senior Rotary leaders, your president and co. If they won't do it, share it with us. There are many websites that you can share this information. In fact, we plead with the organizer of this place that they shouldn't shut that WhatsApp page that has everybody there. So put any information you like. Put it in French, put it in German or whatever it is. I will get an interpreter. If we can't interpret it, I will just pretend that I know about it. And it will do. So will we plead with our elder statesman, elder lawyer, elder Rotarian, elder father, grandfather? Are you serious? Chineke go nye me 3 kobo. Hey. Look at me struggling with supplements and drugs every day. 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the night, and go that. And I think okay, this is for you to tell me I'm old. Somebody challenged me that I should leave Rotary to the young one. Why can't I retire? My uncle turned 88 on Monday. The problem now is that yesterday I asked for my share of the one I not get. So he's going to commit it and convert it to cash. You know that, we have to drink together there. We can't sing happy birthday to you here because we need to do something better. Uncle Sam.
All right. They said they are giving me the exception to the rule. I can stand here. So I'm grateful. Well, membership we are talking about. A club cannot exist if it does not grow. And so how does a club grow? It means we need to add newer members. Young or old, it makes no difference. I had convinced people older than me to work. You were being told that the chairman of the Extension Committee in Ghana is 92. I was president of the club when he came and I inducted him. He was president of the club. Then the membership dropped. So I asked him to come back to be president so that he can grow the membership. He said, oh, but he's already been a president. And I said, well, but you've forgotten that I was also president twice. So you come and do it. And he came. And within a year, the membership more than doubled. So what we are talking about here is nothing more than what we call strategy. If anybody has been in the army before here, he will know what is meant by strategy. Wars are won not by the quantity of armaments you have, but it's because of the strategy that you adopt. And so that is the same principle that applies to what we are talking about now. It means that each club has to adopt a strategy for growth. We come to these institutes and district conferences in order to do what? To share ideas. As it's a turn up now, we come only to take photographs with one another and we put it on the net and we think that that is all. No, it's a learning curve. This is a place for learning. You share ideas, you tell other people your problem. There's no shame in telling people about your problems, the problem you have in your club. Don't feel ashamed. That's the way you learn. And then from this discourse, you'll be able to get ideas as to what can be done. Now, there are younger people who are more wealthy than we, the older ones. But oftentimes you say, they say, oh, but he's a young person. I say, what are you talking about? Most of the world's millionaires now are 25 years and a little above that. They are millionaires. Yeah, some are even that, and they are millionaires. They have idea, they have initiative, can create. But how many of those are in Rotary clubs? We don't even have them. And so it is a strategy, meaning that in the community in which the club is in, your job is to do what we used to do in the old day. We call it membership survey. That every year, by September, October, each club is supposed to make a membership survey. Find out what are the field and on-field classifications. Those notions have not died. Then you identify the classifications which were not available in your club. But to do that, you also need to find out what are the new businesses and vocations that have sprung up in the community. That's part of your survey. You add it to it. Who are the managers or those in charge of those institutions and businesses? And you make direct approach to them. What do? You invite him or her to your Rotary Club. Come and see what we do. Come and have fellowship with me at the Rotary Club meeting, where we can share a glass of beer or coffee or tea or whatever you decide. No, whiskey is not allowed. It makes you lose your brain. I never drank it, so please excuse me for being so silly. So that's the way you go about it. Once you invite the person, I can tell you, I was governor of the whole of West Africa, from Senegal all the way to Cameroon, including Nigeria. Then I realized Nigeria had a problem. There was a perception that Rotary was a cult. So I told them, I said, simple strategy. Those who are making the allegation, invite them to join you to a club meeting. The notion will die out at once when they realize that it's an open society, that it is not a cult. You see the growth in Nigeria? Yeah, it has changed. And so each society has its own peculiar problem. But if you don't make a survey of the problem, you wouldn't know. So you have to deliberately approach the issue and ask yourself, why is our membership not growing? Why can we not create an additional club? And then you work on that supposition. And so it's a work. Each community has its own peculiar problem. And so we cannot prescribe something for everybody. As he said correctly, Joshua said correctly, the rules, the general rules are there. But in addition to the general rules, there is nothing prescribing a club from adding other rules to it, provided they don't contradict the main rule. I'm a lawyer, so I can tell you that. And so we have work to do. We want to create a second zone. Is that not correct? What we need to do in the military terminology is that we have to fix a deadline, which we are going to aim at. Small Sam, young Sam, small Sam, who has passed away, was the one who was always saying that we have to become a zone. Then let's fix these dates for it, and let's work towards that. And we did, and it has worked. Unfortunately, he wasn't allowed to enjoy the benefits of it. I weep daily when I think about him. And so let us not disappoint ourselves. Let's convince ourselves that we can double and triple the membership in Africa. Africa is a young country with young men and women with energy and enthusiasm. All what is required is to channel that enthusiasm and energy into something useful and fruitful. And what better than Rotary? Many of the people become club president, they don't even have a program during the year as a community project that they can undertake. How do you convince people to come and join the club when you are doing nothing? You think they want to come there and drink tea, coffee? Or the other one, or I won't name it. No, that's not what they want. They want to be involved. I remember we used to go, we had a two-contractor family in the club. So what did? We take a project, and on Saturday, we all go there. Some of us are carrying fetching mortar, some of us are carrying brick. Fantastic fellowship. And we build a whole community, a school for the community. We build it ourselves, the club. We didn't hire a contractor. And it can be done. Because if you do not have a builder in the club, it means there's a defect in the membership. If you don't have a civil engineer in the club, it means there's a defect in what? In your membership. If you don't have doctor or doctors in your club, there's a defect in your membership. If you don't have a lawyer or lawyers in the club, there's what? A defect in your membership. Every profession and vocation ought to be represented. I even remember we had a carpenter. And someone said, carpenter? A carpenter in your club? I said, no, we changed the title to call it joinery. That's the classification, joinery. What is wrong with being a carpenter? But sometimes they have more money than you and I have. As a lawyer, I realize that some of them earn more than I do. So please, let us just wake up. So do we all make a pledge that each of us, don't say that is the responsibility of the club president, I beg you. It is the responsibility of each one of us. Every member of the club has a duty and a responsibility for this growth. In the old day, we used to say, every member should bring in an additional member. But we that during the year, that's what we are supposed to do. Every member should do what? Bring in an additional member. Because the question we ask is simple. Do you not have a friend, a very good friend, a trusted friend who is not a member of Rotary? Do you not have a relative, trusted, who is not a Rotarian? But if the person is good enough to be your friend, why is he or she not good enough to be a Rotarian? That is the issue. And I'm sure all of you here have many, many close friends who are not in Rotary. So do you see where you are lucky? Yeah, if the person is good enough to be your friend, then he is also good enough to be what? A Rotarian. So that is what I'm leaving with you. Go and work at it. At the institute in where? Mauritius. I'm going to be the examiner. God willing, so I'm still alive. He said he will give me an air ticket so that I will be there. So thank you. I know you are always generous, so I accept your offer. So I'll be the examiner. And I'm going to ask each of you how many members you brought into the club since Lusaka. Thank you and bless you.
Please give him another round of applause. You guys are going digital. See what wisdom does. First of all, I'd like to pay tribute and thank the old PDGs that have done this great work over the years. I can see PDG Professor Lufedeju. I can see white hair there, my Black African brother, Coleman, fighting for membership. I can see my friend from Oka, Ahmed, I'm doing that. So we thank you so much. Time is gone. One lady there was showing me a card, and before we started, we were asking where is the timekeeper. We started 45 minutes late, young lady, but we'll make sure that we don't go 45 minutes. But just to impress our leaders that have come in, can you all stand and give a rousing applause for our RI president and our director who just came in. They have been working hard and all that. Give them a round of applause. Please stand up. Thank you, RI President Gordon. We don't take your comment for granted. If you know the number of zones, and he has to attend every zonal institute, he can't finish all. Not to talk of district conference, not to talk of committees and co, but for him, with his spouse, to choose this place and come is great. Maybe he's learned that we have more mental cases here than he thinks. Look at me, I'm a mental case most of the time. When I spark here, you can't control me. Is there one Debbie Courthart in the hall? If you are here, please approach the podium. So thank you very much. You just came. So we'd like to impress you. We have a panelist here, and we would like them to say one parting word is to know that what our director, Patrick, has put together is not a joke. They did a fantastic job. We have been sharing the experiences. I'd like to give you an example. Come here. Now, It says leadership and quality membership. The Rotary Club of Jos South was dying. 5 members, 6 members. And it's my friend's club, PDG Elvis. And they tried to vamp it up. And I don't know where they got this young lady from. They grabbed her in. And I said, this young girl, they'll just come and be doing selfish, nothing. I said, anyway, my hand on this side, let's induct her. He was inducted. In 3 months, she went and brought her fellow ladies, one doing the evening refreshment. You know what I mean? Some doing salon and co. And the grandma, the club has gone to 50. But the interesting thing that you people sit down here, I say give offering to foundation. You are giving me 1 kwacha, 2 kwacha, 2 kwacha. We went and preached foundation to her. She said, oh God, what is all this? We said, no, you can do to the foundation. He said, okay. He said, and I was thinking of Paul Harris fellow. I say, okay, major donor. He said, what is major donor? I said, 10,000. He said, is that all? He said, yes. I left. 2 weeks later, I got a alert that 10,000 has entered. I processed it. I didn't ask her for permission. If you make a mistake and put your money through me, I will put it in Polio Plus first. Then fight started. The president said, it shouldn't be like this. I said, now your money. He said, no. I said, leave it alone. Then as we were going, we had a phone call. I don't know. Then Anders was talking to her. And they say, what again? He said she wants to be 2nd level major donor. They say, how much? She put another 15,000. At the end of the day, okay, we started 45 minutes late. We were eating lunch too much. We will pay for it today. She gave $27,500 at one go. And with that, she brought in 10 new members. That's how it should go. Thank you very much. So 1 minute. You know, anytime the big men come, we have a problem. So say something.
Merci beaucoup à notre modérateur qui a fait beaucoup à notre place et a impliqué énormément les membres. Donc, nous avons partagé une expérience. Mon seul message à la fin de ces échanges, c'est que nous devons travailler fort, nous organiser pour ne pas rester passifs devant ce qui nous arrive. Les effectifs qui chutent, et donc nous organiser en utilisant les outils qui nous sont proposés par le Rotary, particulièrement avoir un plan d'action, un plan stratégique, un plan d'action avec un suivi systématique. Je pense que la plupart des intervenants sont revenus là-dessus. C'est un travail dur qui nous interpelle tous, gouverneurs de district, présidents de club et rotariens. J'espère que nous partons d'ici avec une très bonne résolution pour travailler dans ce sens et c'est à ce seul prix que nous pouvons avoir les 2 zones en Afrique. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. From the report which I presented this afternoon, we have had negative growth in so many districts in our zone. We never achieved our goals coming from Rotary International for the year 2022-2023. And all this comes through us. Post-COVID, we brought in 169, we lost over 164,000. And we are looking at so many clubs being struck off. Each and every one of us, as we live, we must promote quality at the door. Quality at the door meaning that we must bring in Rotarians, not friends of Rotary. Thank you.
Membership growth matters. Membership growth begins with you and I. So let's together bring in members, keep those we have, and form new clubs. Thank you.
Can we give the panel a round of applause, please? Please stand up and take a bow, and you can leave now. Thank you very much for tolerating us. Thank you for starting late by finishing early, and we thank you so much. I hope that the challenge we have that stop waiting for the committee. Each and every one of us must be a membership champion. This noble idea and strategic plan for Zone 22 that our director Patrick has put together, we should make it work. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Remember, Chairman, where is the Chairman Organizing Committee? There is a bag here they left in the eating room. I'm sure they will come and collect it. So anyway, okay, you're in the Organizing Committee. Good. I'll hand over to my senior brother.
Thank you very much. Just an important announcement about tomorrow. In the program, you will have seen that the official opening should have been tomorrow morning, but it's been swapped. It will be tomorrow afternoon. And our guest of honor will be Her Honor, the Vice President. Therefore, there's some timing changes, and you will have received, those of you in the hall today will have received a one-page amendment to the program. The official opening will be at 14 hours tomorrow, but we must be seated by 13:30. Now, you know, I'm sure as it happens across the world, when we have senior dignitaries like the president or the vice president, they are very strict on time. Sorry. Hello. Sorry, please. Thank you. They are very strict on time. So we must be back in the hall by 1:30. 13:30, we must be seated. If you're not seated in here, you know the security people will inconvenience you. They will not allow you to enter after a certain time. Until after the official opening. The vice president will be here for 1 hour only. So I'll repeat that. The official opening is at 14 hours, but everyone must be seated by 13:30. After that, it will be difficult for anyone to enter the room because of the security arrangements. Okay. This evening, we were supposed to have been hosted by the Lusaka clubs, but that it will not happen, unfortunately. So all of those who want some excitement this evening are encouraged to either attend the wine tasting, which should be at the Radisson Blu, or the pub crawl. You drink until you drop. Right? Then tomorrow, because of the changes tomorrow, lunch will be at 12:10. It will be earlier. And tomorrow we'll open up the second banquet hall so that we have more serving bays in order to manage the time, so that we don't have any delays like we did have today. So tomorrow there'll be 2 banquet halls that we're going to use, and lunch will be at 10 hours. Sorry, beg your pardon. Lunch will be at 12:10. Lunch will be at 12:10. So please remember that. If you don't have the one-page amendment, please let us know. Come to the secretariat or the registration office and get a copy of the one-page amendment regarding the official opening for tomorrow. Yeah. The last announcement, I mentioned earlier on, there's a cocktail for the Rotary Family Health Action Group, and it's by invitation only, to be on the 2nd floor. You can use the elevators on the side of the auditorium to get access to the 2nd floor. And it's right behind us. And that's where the VIP foyer is, and that's where the cocktail will be. We are now going for tea break for 15 minutes. There is a last session. And please remember that the tea break has been served on both sides of this auditorium. Earlier on, people went to the right, to my right side, and there was food wasted on the left-hand side. So please remember, you can have tea on both sides of the auditorium. I'll come round. When you see me ringing this bell, it will be time to get back in so that we manage time. Huh?
Let's finish.
This time I won't be clapping my hands. I'll ring the bell. Yeah.
Please, can we finish before going for this tea break? please.
Okay. So. Mhm. Oh, people don't leave. Okay. Okay. Sorry, excuse me. It's a change to the program. Because of the time, we'll have the tea break at the end of the last session.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
thank you. We'll proceed
Thank you.
into the next session.
Thank you.
Now. We'll proceed to the next session now. So no tea break. The tea break will be at the end of this session. We're supposed to come with the moderator.
Where are we now? Okay. I think we're going into this.
Okay. May I invite Pastor RID Director Sam Ozuketo? He's the moderator. You're the moderator for this session.
I don't know.
Press here.
Okay. You can leave both. Yeah. Can we take our seats, please? I beg you. Let's take our seats. Let's take our seats. Let's take our seats. I am looking at those of you who are still standing. Take your seats. Take your seats. And I see those who are trying to run away also. I'm looking at each of them and my camera is monitoring each of them. Okay. We have a very interesting topic. And if you see your program, it talks about regionalization. And I'm sure most of you are anxious to try and understand what it is all about. And so we've asked past Vice President of Rotary International, Yinka, to speak on the topic. But before we do that, I thought it was appropriate to ask our president himself to give us a little bit of inkling on the issue before Yinka tackles it. So, Mr. President, your audience.
Well, thank you very much, Big Sam. And thank you, everybody, for this opportunity. It's an opportunity that I was given some minutes ago, because as you will know from your program, this presentation was to have been given by our General Secretary, John Hugo. And sadly, John Hugo cannot be with us this afternoon. He sends his sincere apologies and asks me to convey my warmest regards to you all. I've been asked to just give a very brief overview of regionalization. I'm happy to do that, and then I'm afraid I must depart the stage for another meeting that I am committed to. There has been, I think, a deal of confusion in the Rotary world as to exactly what regionalization means. And in fact, to that end, we are now talking more about regional flexibility and regional adaptation than regionalization. I hope that in the course of the next 2 or 3 minutes, I can give you some framework to understand the concept that we are wrestling with at the moment. There are 4 aspects of regionalization, regional adaptability, regional flexibility. The first relates to our secretariat. And in this context, regionalization means getting resources closer to the Rotarians through the various regional offices and other activities. And in truth, this is not anything new. This has been going on for many years already. The staffing levels in the international offices have increased, and decision-making within these offices has increased. We have devolved much of the decision-making from Evanston to the international offices. Many of our trainings, and we had some earlier this week, many of our trainings are now carried on with a regional focus. And learning materials are now much more regionally based than they were previously. The Rotary citation allows for more regionally appropriate goals. Second thing I'd like to address is governance at the regional level. As you know, there are currently 2 pilot studies being carried out. One is in Zone 8, Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Islands, and the other is within Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland. These were approved by the Council on Legislation last year in 2022. Essentially, these are to try and avert a membership crisis in each of those 2 areas. We hear that membership is holding up well in this zone, and I am thrilled and delighted about that. I also can tell you that I know Africa has potential to grow way beyond the numbers that it has at present. But in Great Britain and Ireland, and also in Australia, New Zealand, and the South Pacific, we have a real challenge with our membership. And that is why these regions are investigating another model of governance to try and grow Rotary, to try and increase our membership once again. These 2 pilot projects do not have any effect or any impact on the rest of the Rotary world. Can continue just as they are. But any good ideas that come out of that pilot will need to be approved by a Council on Legislation in 3 or 6 years' time after 2025 or 2028. And then they will be promulgated elsewhere if they're deemed to be appropriate for elsewhere. When we talk about the regional level as regards regionalization, it is much better to use the term regional flexibility. I think it's important that you can try things, and there are a great many things you can try at the regional level that don't need Council on Legislation approval. This could mean things like more multi-district PETs, multi-district conferences, regional projects, informal governance structures. You might even explore the possibility of changing the term of district governor from 1 year to 2 years. These are things that are already being carried out with some success in other parts of the Rotary world. And pooling of funds to do large regional projects. These can all be done at present under the umbrella and under the auspices of regional flexibility. Fourth, and I would say perhaps most importantly, are activities at the club and district level. As I've already stated, in some parts of the world, we have a membership crisis. And it's important to remember we are an association of clubs, not of districts, not of zones, not of regions, and not even of individuals. The action has to begin at the club level, and this is what matters most. If the traditional model no longer works, it needs to be changed. If the traditional model does work, then there's no problem in remaining with that particular status quo. But we need to be prepared to change the product to meet the market that we are trying to reach. John Hugo likes to use the expression, there is no Rotary police, and there is no Rotary police. It's important that you don't worry so much about adhering fully to the rules, but the key is to offer an attractive product. The way we're going to grow Rotary is through new and innovative Rotary clubs. And even in the 30 hours that I have spent since I arrived here in Lusaka yesterday morning, I have heard of some new and innovative Rotary Club concepts here within this zone, and I applaud you for that. We need to be creative. And one of the most important ways we need to be creative is we need to engage our Rotaractors. And I am delighted that in parts of Africa, you engage your Rotaractors so well. But I can share with you the fact that worldwide, only 5% of our Rotaractors go on to join Rotary. And that, for me, is a great lost opportunity. So there's 4 aspects to regional adaptability, regional flexibility. There's the Secretariat, there's the governance with the 2 pilot projects I've already alluded to. There's regional flexibility without the need of Council on legislation approval. And there is club flexibility. I probably don't need to remind you of the famous Paul Harris quote that said, Rotary needs at all times to be evolutionary and occasions to be revolutionary. Perhaps this is the time to be revolutionary as we become more regionally adapted to suit the model, because one size no longer fits all in terms of Rotary governance, and we need to make it more appealing and more appropriate for the areas in which we live. So with that, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to defer to my much more learned gentleman on my left, and past RI Vice President Yinka will take you through the rest of the session. I look forward to seeing some of you this evening and all of you tomorrow morning. Thank you very much indeed.
President Gordon, thank you very much for giving us the initial start. So I think you have an inkling of what this whole issue about regionalization is all about. But then we need somebody to expound and explain it. And so we have the past RI Vice President Yinka Babalola to help us to understand it. So Yinka, I don't think he needs any further introduction. You all know him. He's our friend.
Thank you, sir.
And I think by the reckoning now, since Jonathan and young Sam has left us, he's the next one next to me in the hierarchy now in Africa. So let's hear him.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, PRID and past Trustee Vice Chair Sam. Thank you very much, President Gordon, for your critical remarks. In fact, I and PRID Sam played a coup this morning. We thought with the president here, we may have a corner way of getting the latest. And he has done that. Let me now zoom it home. He talked about the Secretariat. My advice as a Rotarian from this zone, please don't worry yourself about it. I know you've all had all sorts of questions, all sorts of comments. Please don't worry yourself about it. It talked about the next level, regional flexibility. That is important for us. Very, very important for us. Because going forward, regional flexibility talks about looking into the future. Let us leave the pilots that are happening now in those 2 zones he mentioned, in RIBI,
which means Rotary International in Britain and Ireland, and of course in Australia, New Zealand, and the rest, where they've been having membership crisis. So have it at the back of our mind that those pilots were basically geared towards addressing those crises. Our situation is a little different. Our situation is a little different. We are growing, we are not declining, but we are not growing at a rate that the leadership of this continent desires. I hope I'm speaking your mind, Patrick. You know, we're not growing at the rate the leadership desires. That is our own issue. You see, our core values will not change. Our core values of service, fellowship, diversity, integrity, and leadership, no matter what we do, no matter what pilot, whether it is regional flexibility or regionalization, I believe those will not change. Our vision statement is also not likely to change very soon. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change in our world, our communities, and ourselves. That will not change. As Rotarians in this zone, we will need to continue to create lasting change in our world, in our communities, and in ourselves. I don't think that will change too. Our strategic priorities to increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance participants' engagement, increase our ability to adapt, as well as the action plans to deliver those priorities, need to be reviewed as needed. And that is where regional flexibility comes in. That is where regional flexibility comes in. Some of the opportunities and threats before us to ponder in no particular order as we think regional flexibility are this. What happens after we are done with polio? You know, the president mentioned regional opportunities to do large-scale projects. So when we are done with polio, what happens? Will the regional flexibility allow us to say, wait a minute, to us in this part of the world, this is our biggest problem, and this is the problem we want to tackle. And let me warn us, this is Yinka talking now, this is not anything from Rotary. The world is changing very fast. You see those monies we used to get from other people to do things here, they are drying up. Because those parts of the world are beginning to have their own specific problems for which they need their money. Environmental problems, peace problems for which they need their money. So regional adaptability means us being alert to the fact that we will have our own problems to solve, and we'll have to find the money to solve those problems. And this idea of imagining that money will come from some other places, we need to start to have a rethink. I used to say, Africa may be said to be poor, but African Rotarians are not any poorer than Rotarians anywhere else. Are we able to harness the full benefit and expectations of our DEI statements and aspirations? What does DEI mean to us? How can we use the DEI policy for our own growth? You see, to some parts of the world, it's about sexual orientation. If that is what will give them growth, let them deal with it. To some parts of the world, it is gender. In fact, I remember my Egyptian friends telling me, Yinka, we are not looking for more women. We are looking for more men in Egypt to join Rotary. It is still gender related, but not bring more women to Rotary. But for our zone, what does DEI mean? And what opportunities do we have to use that to inspire growth? That will be peculiar to us. I'll tell you a story. Rotary says we want more women in Rotary. And in a region of the world, decided we shall have more women in Rotary. But they may not be in the same clubs. They may not be in the same clubs. Rotary initially said, no, we shall not charter any Rotary club that's not mixed. Well, they found a way around that. The women formed the clubs and brought one or two of their sons to be members. And you know, you women, when you talk, your sons keep quiet. They got the approval. But you see, at the end of the day, when you come for a district conference, you find more women. You find more women. That is as is applicable to them. The flexibility or lack of flexibility will have stunted their growth because those women may not have joined Rotary. But they broke the rule then. And that's why we're talking about regional flexibility as we talk about it now. You know, what about elevating Rotaract? Are we able to harness the full potential of elevating Rotaract? Many of our speakers have spoken today. We have the greatest chance by having the youngest population on this planet. What are we doing with that information? What are we doing with that demography? I've not seen the details of the strategic plan, but I want to put this to you. Today, Rotarians from Africa represent only 4% of the Rotary world. Only 4% of the Rotary world. But the Rotaractors represent 9% of the Rotaract world. Should we be aspiring as part of our regional flexibility at a point, somebody referred to it as the proper pyramid, at a point where Rotaractors from this zone may represent 35% of the Rotaract world. And that means sometime in future, because as they grow into Rotary, things will change. Sometime in future, Rotary can move from being 4% to where we want it to be. You see, he talked about governance at the club level, district level. Let me say that elephant in the room you people have been worried about. There are those who have said, we don't need district governors, that the role of district governors are outdated, that position was created in the days when there was no communication and you needed somebody to pass information. Some are saying, take away the district governors. That may not be our own experience here. You see, in many parts of the world, they cannot even find people to aspire to become district governors. So they're saying, if we can't find people anyway, why have the position? There must be other ways of doing this without it. But in many of our own parts of the world, we are even sending petitions to RI from selection. That shows there's interest. So is it possible a part of the world may go away without having governors? Maybe, but how will that apply to us? Finally, let me say this. There has been a lot of activism at the Council of Legislations in the past 9 years. The next 6 years will be very, very critical. You see all these pilots we are talking about? They have not, those pilots don't include us. But I suspect that when those results are out, it may become something we are required to adapt or adopt. And that is where we need to prepare. Please, please, don't send people to your council on legislation by some funny old hierarchy and sending people to the council who go to sleep. I've attended the council. And you are seeing our people, they are sleeping. Many of them are old and tired. They cannot face the rigor of that parliament. They couldn't even read all the enactments. It comes in this volume. And it is within those enactments, some of these decisions will be hidden. We want to prepare for regionalization. Pay attention to who you send to the Council on Legislation over the next 6 years. And finally, please, I can almost tell you this. I do not think very soon that Rotary will stop looking at numbers. I don't think so. Let them call it whatever they want to call it, whether it is zone, whether it is region, whether it is committee, call it whatever name. But they will have to group people together one way or the other. And I tell you, number will come in. Today, in this room, we talk about our regions, and we have 3. Will it serve us well if those regions become 2? Or will it serve us well if those regions become 4? Governance at regional level, let them stop talking about zones. Will it serve us well if they change the name zone to something else? And instead of Africa having 1 zone, we now have half, like we used to have years back? Or are we in the position of strength that whichever way they want to decide it, our numbers are such that people are forced to listen to us? What am I telling you? Whatever stories you've heard, please go and grow your membership. That figure will matter. Quote me today. That figure will matter when these final decisions have been taken. Grow your membership. Let us take Africa to 70,000 members, or as close to that as possible, before 2026. Did you see the date I mentioned? Because the council legislation will meet. Don't say you don't know. Don't say you were not warned. And those of you who know me know that I don't joke with matters like this. So if you are thinking Yinka is not serious, I hope you are changing your mind. Grow. So that whichever way that decision will go, our numbers will make it impossible for anybody to ignore us. There's a statement I always make. Where's my friend Salifu? He doesn't like it because I think he translates it into Yoruba or French first. I always say it. You can never go hungry if you have somebody in the kitchen. You see, this time we have somebody in the kitchen. That's Patrick at the Rotary Board. This time we have somebody in the kitchen. That's Guitar at the Rotary Foundation. There is no way these 2 people will hear something that will injure us and keep quiet. But when you don't have people in the kitchen, you know, I want to end with this story. There was a decision, there was a meeting of animals, and they were deciding what to have for breakfast. Do we want eggs for breakfast or do we want ham for breakfast? The chicken was there. I said, no, guys, you can't have eggs for breakfast because that is destroying my future. But the pig was absent and they decided the breakfast will be ham. I know what happened to the pig. It's up to you. Thank you very much for allowing me to bore you.
Any questions or comment? No, you can speak from there. No problem. Ah, okay. Yeah, no problem. Nobody? Go ahead. You have a microphone there? Okay, use it.
Thank you very much, Yanka, for your really concise talk. And I learned something from you now. Thank you. Actually, you're saying about that those who go to the Council on Legislation, they are either sleeping or they are not concentrating or they're getting that big list with things to say. Is about the choice of those who go to there. There should be a past district governor and the choice of them. If they are old, for sure they're going to sleep, something normal. So we have to change the way we choose those past district governors who will go over there, right? And also it's very important that the clubs, thank you. But believe me, I won't be one of them. Believe me.
You talk
so don't worry.
Talk to us.
Something else is that there should be awareness to the members in the clubs. Actually, there is no enough awareness. They do in some regions, I don't know, but I'm talking about my region. We have to have a good awareness about the choice of the people and what shall we write to the Council on Legislation and what do we want? And we should ask for something realistic and practical, okay? So awareness is very important. Thank you.
Patrick.
Thank you, Chair Big Sam. I don't have a question, but I would like to make a couple of observations. First of all, I really would like to thank my brother Inka for the frankness with which he has expressed his views on this issue of regionalization. As you know, regionalization has been on the table for the last several years now, you know, from the Future of Rotary Committee that was established under, I'm sorry, yes, the Future Rotary, that's what it was called, under Barry Rasson, past president. And it's been knocked about this way and that. And every time I talk to Rotarians, I begin to sense that there's a sense of apprehension as to what is this thing, regionalization? What is it bringing with it? What is going to happen to Rotary? You know, so much so that last year, as director of Zone 21 and Zone 22, I put together two, what do you call them, steering committees. One for Zone 22 and one for Zone 21. And we included a number of very serious and senior Rotarians to debate the issue of regionalization as it affects, in the case of Zone 22, and we're talking Zone 22, as it affects Africa. Because I wanted to go back to Evanston when I go to the board meetings in Evanston, not to go and present my personal views. I wanted to carry with me the views of the African people. There's a report that has been prepared at the end of that exercise. But the more I read that report, the more something appears clear in my mind that there's so much misunderstanding about what this thing is all about. Even the Zone 21, it's the same picture emerging. But I think if you bring it down to basics, the way Yinka has done this afternoon, and ask some basic questions, I think it boils down to what President Gordon was saying. Regionalization, we may go on talking for another 10 years. It will never crystallize into a plan of action. But a thing called regional flexibility is the way forward. Regional flexibility. It means we do our Rotary here in Africa in accordance with our circumstances and our peculiarities. This is what it must mean. And so we must examine our values and the strategic plan of Rotary in relation to our own situation. And this is what I would like to encourage my fellow Rotarians to begin to look at. Even at club level, there are certain things that need to be amended to answer to our own needs here. I've come to know, for instance, that already here in Zambia, there are some clubs that have adopted, now they meet once every fortnight. They say this every week, it's creating problems for us, this kind of flexibility. So I think it's a subject which must not be placed on the shelf. I want to invite everybody to think through and examine our peculiar situations. Well, it may even mean one size does not fit all. It might mean that what happens in Northern Africa is not the same thing that would suit Southern Africa or Eastern Africa. We've got to look at it from that standpoint. So it's a subject that is not academic, it's real, it's practical, and I'm really waiting to hear some concrete proposals that I can take to Evanston to say, this is what Africa thinks is the way forward. So I really just wanted to thank my brother Inka for bringing it out so clearly and in a manner that is easy to grasp. The ball is still in play. This subject is not closed. And I want to hear from all our districts on this issue of, we are not going to call it regionalization. I think that is, we're going to say regional flexibility. What must it mean for Zone 22? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I'm again Rotean Daniel. I actually, this is one thing that came biting on my mind, and you have really given sort of an answer to a question I should have asked, or a proposal I should have asked. I don't know much about regionalization, but I'm going to read much about it. And for me, I come from a perspective of the wave that is currently going through of Africa. If you are on social media so much, there is a new wave of mostly young Africans connecting with their Africans from the opposite ends of the continent. If you have seen the welcomingness or the people have bought into the African free continental trade area, it's not the same as people have been interested in our regional blocks. It's a new wave and it's not deniable, and I think we should not miss it. Now, this brings me again to actually the structuring of this Zone Institute. This Zone Institute is actually taken as a forum of only DGs. If you ask many people, most people in my club, they will tell you that actually I'm not a DG, so I will not go to the Zone Institute. Those people, whoever is planning the next one in Mauritius, I think we need to look at probably even rebaptizing it. It doesn't become an institute, it becomes a conference. More Rotarians go to RI convention than those who come to the Rotary Institute. And I believe this is a place where we network well and we develop an identity. So it's time for Africa to actually, Rotary to believe that we can have a continental impact on issues that are really affecting us, Africa as a continent, as where we are hosting people who are talked to be about the poorest, sitting on the richest continent. That's what I would want to submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank First Rotary International Vice President Yinka and even our director. I remember very well, I attended that online meeting when it was being presented, and I asked First Rotary International President Barry Racine that there's something which doesn't add up. The way it was being brought, being first, the composition, and in any way, if we are trying to promote change which is going to be lasting in organization, everyone, it must be involving all Rotarians to be able to easy to understand the changes being promoted and the reason as to why these changes are coming in, so that we can see the positives and the negatives coming out of this new proposal. To me, I believe as Africa, using our directors, we should find a way of sensitizing Rotarians from the zone to understand and make decisions either from their clubs, which will then be forwarded for a final comment. But most of the time we are going to find ourselves that Africa will come out losing out of decisions because these decisions are going to be taken without participation of Africans. Thank you.
Okay, okay.
Alors, merci à notre past vice-président Yinka qui nous donne toujours du punch et qui nous pousse à travailler plus. Moi, ma question se pose par rapport au Rotaract. On dit toujours que le Rotaract est notre futur. Le Rotaract, on doit le récupérer, on doit le ramener au Rotary. Mais malheureusement, à chaque fois que je suis dans un séminaire effectif, même à l'échelle régionale, on parle plutôt du Rotary, mais il n'y a aucune politique qui s'installe à l'échelle régionale pour réellement promouvoir le Rotaract et en faire notre problème. Et ce n'est pas le problème du Rotaractien de nous rejoindre, mais c'est à nous, en tant que Rotariens, de les amener vers le Rotary. Et là, réellement, je ne vois pas qu'il y a une politique claire dans ce sens. Et il faudra peut-être qu'on y réfléchisse un peu plus sérieusement.
One more.
Thank you. I'm Rotarian Brian from Quasi Club, which is, I think, hosting this institute. R.I.D. Patrick comes from the club I belong to. And I give respect to senior Rotarians who have spent possibly a generation in Rotary. My question is there something that you have not shared with us with regard to the 70,000 target in terms of attaining membership? What kind of membership, sir, are you referring to? Having learned the demography in Africa, isn't it a question of membership that we should perhaps be part of the discussion with regard to what we want to be? Is it the same standard as from the past, or we have to be flexible to decide on that kind of membership? And if we attain that kind of membership, what ultimately is our objective? Thank you, sir.
I was going to start from Najua's question, but his question has taken me back. You know, we've been discussing the issue of growth in Africa at several institutes since, I think, yes, I got involved with it in 2011. First, you are all here. And many of you in this room are not district governors and are not past district governors. So when you are telling me that the impression in your place is that this meeting is only for past district governors, I mean, you are here. See, and you're not a past district governor. DGEs were here last year. They saw non-past district governors as institutes. They are DGs now. And you think you need something else to tell them to go and tell their Rotarians that this is open for all. Let me let you know this, and that is paying tribute to our history. Rotary initially set up zone institutes for what they call RI officers, which will have meant governors and past district governors. But they then said, it is at the discretion of the convener to open it up to others. As part of our strategy for growth in Africa, starting from people like Sam and the other Sam, they decided to throw the Zone Institute open because Rotarians from Africa were only meeting once a year at the convention where nothing really happens, if you know what I mean. So they threw it open. And it has remained open since then. I remember as convener, I put it down in writing. This is open to every Rotarian on this continent. And this is not intended to shame Rotarian president or past president. If you've been at the last 3 institutes, you wouldn't have asked this question. There's nobody that has attended the last 3, 4 institutes that will have asked this question you've asked. We know it is open. In fact, it is so open that it is open to Rotaractors, even before we elevated Rotaract. We invited Rotaractors to the institute. They started attending from Sharm el-Sheikh. So how can it be open to Rotaractors and it's not open to Rotarians? It's counterintuitive. So please go ahead as we plan for Mauritius. Tell your friends that are Rotarians that this is a learning opportunity. And you know what? Many of you have encountered Gordon. I mean, let's leave Guitar. She's one of us. You've encountered Gordon at close range. At the convention, you cannot. It's not available. You see, even this, your director. At the convention, you cannot. But here at the Zone Institute, you can reach them intimately, ask questions, interact with other Rotary leaders around the world. I saw past RI Vice President Dean Raw in the room at some point. I don't know if she has left. That's the past RI Vice President that came to attend this institute. That is what the institute gives you the opportunity to do. To closely learn together, share best practices, and I say copying shamelessly from what others are doing. Let me go to Najua's Rotaract question. And I think I said it during the membership seminar, that I asked membership chairs about growth plan for Rotaract. And all of them are looking at me like this. They are here at this institute. They had a training at this institute. If that was not discussed at that training, I can see the 3 RCs are here. Please do your work. Demand from your membership chairs. Let them do the liaison they need with Rotaractors.
and own up the membership growth plan for Rotaract also. I'm a past Rotaractor, and I'm a very proud one. But let me try something in the room. If you're a past Rotaractor and you're in this room, please stand up. If you're a past Rotaractor, stand up. Can you see what is happening? Do we still need anybody to? We're talking about the leadership of Rotary on this continent. Past Rotaractors. Do we still need anything to tell us that this is our future? Please sit down. So please, Rotary coordinators, do your work. And Marie, where are you? If it was not discussed at the membership chairs training, please find a way of reaching out to them. They need to hold up to that. As they tell us, this is a Rotary growth plan. We want to grow Rotary in Africa from this to this. They also need to be telling us, we want to grow Rotaract from this to this, and at every district level. On the comment by the last two people about the things we need to discuss here, many of you will remember that when we had the institute in Sharm el-Sheikh, we had a business forum in Cairo. At the back of the institute, we knew the AFCTA was coming. And as at that point in time, Egypt, I believe, was the chair of the African Union. So we held that event at the back of that institute. And all the top officials of Egypt, ministers who are connected with trade, were present. Those of you who attended will remember. But the question is, what did we do with it thereafter? Maybe those are the things we need to really sit down and look at. I do know that traveling within Africa is difficult. You see, it's easier for me to go to London than to come to Lusaka. But we're not going to take our zone institute to France. It's a difficulty we have, and we have to work around it, and that is where leadership is required. Visa is so difficult sometimes, and that's why we need leadership, Rotary leadership, you know, to go around and use our influence to address those visa issues. Look at the letters we got for Zambia. Say, don't worry, visa on arrival for the following people. If I don't have that letter, I will have had to travel from Port Harcourt, where I live, to Abuja twice. That will have cost me $600 US to get a $50 visa. So all of us, we have influence in government and at every level. Let us exercise it in the interest of this region. And yes, are there things some of you think we should be discussing in Mauritius? This is the time to start to talk about it. Do we need breakouts in Mauritius to talk about specific issues? Write it down. Send it to the director, Patrick. Send it to the whoever the HOC is. You know, and say, look at the things we think we should be discussing in view of our discussion here today. Finally, let me tell you this. Whatever happened with regionalization, it will not affect the clubs. So don't worry your head too much about it, about sensitizing clubs, about regionalization. Clubs are clubs. Let them just go ahead and grow. The rest, everything about regionalization and regional flexibility regarding governance is above the club level. So don't distract them. Don't distract them. Just encourage them to grow. Form new clubs. Do all those things we've been told today at this seminar. There's a club in Romania. It's an e-club. I can't remember the name now. They formed an e-club, listen to this, and they have about 128 members now of Romanians in diaspora. You know, Romanians are involved in all sorts of testing. This thing the country is good at, and you have them all over the world. So they created a Rotary Club in the district in Romania that has membership from all over the world. And they use their presence in those places to raise money for the foundation, to create partnership for grants. And they come home most times during Easter and Christmas. That's when most people in diaspora come home. And when they come home, they hold the meetings. Nigerians that are complaining about Japa, maybe there's an opportunity in Japa you've not explored. Japa is people living and relocating. Maybe these are opportunities we need to explore rather than look at the disadvantage. That is our own opportunity. So to close, sir, regionalization, regional flexibility, call it any name you like. Please grow. Bottom line, grow. Unless there is something about governance that is affecting your ability to grow. That's the reason those other pilots were set up. We are not in the same situation. Thank you very much.
On that note, we will bring this session to a close. But I just wanted to remind you that the population of Africa is almost the same as the population of India. And India has 2 zones, and we have 1. Yeah, 2.5, eh? That's right. So there you are. You will see that we are hurting ourselves in the sense that on the board, we have 1 director, 1 voice. But the more we grow, we are likely to have maybe 2 voices or even 3 voices. And that is to our advantage. And so this is why the membership becomes an important issue for us to be talking about, and to be thinking about, and to be working towards it.
And sir, sorry to interrupt. Even at the Council of Legislation, it is 1 representative per district.
Per district, that's correct.
So even if you want to lobby, if you have 17 people out of 530, how do you do the lobbying?
Where do you stand?
How? So you are the pig, you are in the room, and they say, we want ham for breakfast. And I say, ham is not good. They will kill us. And you want to lobby. How does 17 people, how many hours do you have for 17 people to lobby 530? Grow. Let's have more members, more districts, because you can't just have districts without membership growth. So we can have a voice.
And on the council, of course, you know that each representative has 1 vote. So you can see where you stand already, that you are at complete disadvantage. And as Linka has said correctly, you are not even selective in who you send there, because you think that it is just something like a holiday for people to go there, and they either sleep or they go shopping, which is the African pastime, shopping. So it means that we need to relook at ourselves, begin to appreciate that you need to find an articulate individual who can speak for and on your behalf. And I also realize that in many a time, you will select a representative without even briefing that representative as to what to do. He goes there, he thinks that he's there, use his own brain to decide. What is the meaning of being a representative? I'm asking you. You are speaking for and on behalf of, is that not correct? So So you can see. So we are hurting ourselves. And of course, the Institute is meant to be an opportunity for us to learn. And let me tell you that many of us, the knowledge that we had in Rotary arose from, we were actually at that time, we actually used to call it Institute, even though it was not organized that way. So even as a new Rotarian, I was attending institutes to the extent that, what do we call it? The time I became a governor, it was almost like a revision course. Not that I was now learning something new. No. I already have the knowledge. And you get the knowledge by coming into groups of this nature, when you associate with senior Rotarians and the others and you learn from them. So let's change our attitude and begin to appreciate that we in the continent of Africa have a lot of work to do. Flexibility, coordination, cooperation, working together, learning from one another, and improving ourselves, both as individuals and also collectively, for the interest of us all. So I thank you for your patience, and I hope that you've learned something from this session. Thank you. Bless you all. Have a nice evening.